Sorry, I had to. Hello, hold on. Hi. Sparrow was like just bringing me popcorn. I have a bowl of popcorn. Right as I was supposed to like bring my little face on, I'm like, hope you like the fart remixes. Yeah, we're doing a day stream today because it's Memorial Day. My husband's home. Kids are they have a second caretaker, so yeah. Happy Memorial Day to my fellow Americans, despite the fact that I don't agree with this country's military standards and budget and the way they target people who are less fortunate financially in life. Despite all that, thank you for those of you who served. Yeah, everyone who serves our country, even though a lot of people do it without having a choice. But I do appreciate those of you who have literally risked your lives to try to help this godforsaken place. But anyway, yeah, hey, we have a lot more crap to watch. Hell yeah. Good morning. I'm so happy to see you all here. I love all the Pop-Tarts in the chat. So many Pop-Tarts in the chat. I love it. I love it so much. I'm in the American military, and I also don't agree with how we spend our money. Definitely. Yeah. I mean, that's just my opinion. People who are serving can't help that our military budget is so ridiculous. But that's the country we live in. Oh, Memorial Day is to celebrate those who lost their lives. Veterans Day is for the veterans. Well, you know, everyone. Yeah, that's true. Memorial, remembering. Oh my God, words. Anyway, the GI Bill is the only way my husband could afford college without insane loans. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like, the American military, it kind of relies on like, hey, do you want to pay for college? Then I guess you better serve. So, I think that. I think that's messed up because personally I'm all for universal college, at least like community college at the very least, you know. Your grandfather fought in World War II. That's crazy. Wow. Hello from Denmark. Hello. Good to see you. All right. So I got in for employment, 3 years to retire. I mean, yeah. I mean, I guess, you know, there are good things about the military, of course, but like I don't like the way we do it here in this country, but whatever. G is for Gabby. Thank you. First time catching a live. Happy to be here. I'm happy you're here too. We can stop talking about sad military things. But I do, you know, happy Memorial Day. Yeah, we also spend billions on tanks that never get used and then dismantled. Yep. Yeah, just lots of things. Lots of things. We spend way too much money in this country. Let's see. Where are we at? This is part 2 to the day 2 video that I have. Thanks again, Gabby. Of the Most Powerful Women of Network Marketing Conference. This video in particular is 4 hours long, so I'm telling you right now, we're not going to get through it all today. So the next stream that I do, man, yeah, we've done this. We have day 2. We're on day 2 right now, and this is the 3rd part that I've done of day 2. So we'll have to probably have a 4th part of day 2. And then I got all of day 3, baby! Hell yeah. Yeah, thank you for liking the stream, everybody. If you haven't, side part who dis? Oh, I know. I missed the side part. Does it make me look like a millennial? Yes. Why? Because I am a millennial and I like the side part. I think we need to bring it back. I'm getting sick of the middle part. I do the middle part because I that's what all the youngins do, but the side part is where it's at. G is for gaslight. Gaslight Gatekeep, girl boss. Alright. So many Pop-Tarts. I know, we love the Pop-Tarts. Alright. This one? Yes, that's the right button. So this one is in this craptacular vertical, screen again. Let me move this over a little bit. Move. Maybe make it a little smaller. But I know, like, halfway through this video, it goes back to the widescreen, so. But at least you can still hear everything that all these people are saying, and it's still, oh my gosh, I can't get this to, I'll press play, and then I'll fuck around with this. Okay. Oh, wait. Here we go. Okay.
Hi, Barbara.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity. I'm obviously a senior citizen. I have credibility with people my age. And through the years of doing this business, I've learned from many of the leaders excellent listening skills so that you know what your clients are looking for assistance with.
She's turned up all the way.
Can be encouraging and you have experience. But what I'm wanting to do is I'm wanting to break into the younger demographic so that we can start having younger people building within the legacy of the company.
This is funny, ma'am. You're super silly. Listen, I don't want to, like, age shame or anything, but, like, the reason why your MLM is, like, sucking, I don't know which company she's in, because, again, if you haven't watched this with us before, this is not for any particular network marketing or MLM company in general. I mean, it's a conference for the most powerful women of network marketing. So everyone who's attending this conference, they come from all walks of MLM life. So I don't know what company this lady is in, but what I can tell you is that the reason that MLMs are not doing so well right now is because, and also, of course, there's, like, older people who are in the anti-MLM movement, but I think the youngins on TikTok, on YouTube, just the internet in general, this generation has done a really great job at speaking out against everything that they think is wrong, and MLMs just happen to be one of them. Listen, ma'am, I know you may not understand that, but the information that is getting out about the shit-tacularness of your company and your industry, it's not going away. Like, just ask Pure Romance how that's going, you know? So, okay, yeah, I want to get younger people. How are you going to do that? Every young person has a TikTok, so great.
How would you recommend I achieve credibility with younger people, I'd say in their 30s and 40s? I'm in my 70s.
You want to go first?
What advice can you give me, please?
This should be good.
Well, first of all, I think that you already pretty much answered your question, because, like, you in your 70s, you have that credibility, you have that knowledge, you have the experience that they never had.
Okay, when she was in her 30s and 40s, MLMs did not run the same way they do now. I mean, I guess the business structure was probably very similar still, but you didn't have social media, you didn't have the internet, ma'am. Like, don't sit here and be like, well, you have this amazing experience. She doesn't. The younger generation, especially people in their 30s and 40s, she has just as much experience in social media and technology and stuff as the younger generation too, because, like, it's a new thing, right? Like, when this lady allegedly, assuming that she's been in MLMs for a long time, her experience is so outdated. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, leave the kids out of this, for real, man. Poor pension lady. Yeah, that... Well, yeah, I mean, she's probably getting Social Security, but that's another thing that America does wrong. That's another thing that one part of the political system wants to get rid of, that they don't even want us to have pensions and Social Security and stuff. No, they're trying to get rid of that shit.
Because
'Cause
I
that's
think the
socialism!
challenge that you might be experiencing, and I might be wrong, is because you think that because of the new technologies, because of the new style, because of the different social media, they do it a different way and you left behind. Am I correct? But
Yes, very much so, because I don't have anyone to, if I had somebody sitting beside me showing me some of the computer skills, I could do them. Now, I've learned a lot.
Ma'am, go on YouTube. Here, I'll help you, ma'am. Go to www. If you don't type all three W's, it doesn't work, ma'am. www.youtube.com. And there's a little search bar at the top. And you can learn how to do literally anything. You don't need someone sitting right next to you. See, I feel like this question is so... why did they let this woman ask this question? Because it's like, it's obvious how it should be answered. She's admitting here. Freaking, what's this, like, a Marina Worry up there answering this question. She's like, you know, like, you gotta get in with the technology. Oh, who was that? Stitch Witch Robin. Wow, that was almost a tongue twister. Thank you for joining. Yeah, it's like, the answer to this question is that you need to, like, stick with the times. You need to, like, modernize your business. But even then, I'm sorry. Imagine being like a young kid, like 20 years old maybe. I mean, but she was saying she wanted to focus on 30s and 40s. Okay, even then, I'm in my 30s, okay? Imagine this woman pops up on your For You page or whatever, and it's like, I got this opportunity for you. Like, I'm sorry, but like young people, I don't think most young people would look at that and be like, yes, I would like to join this older woman on a journey to financial freedom. Like, she's had her time to figure it out, right? She's had her time to figure out how to make enough money to be financially free. But yeah, here she is in her 70s and she still hasn't achieved that. So, okay.
Through working with some of my colleagues, tremendous amount. I mean, pre-COVID, all I could do was send and receive emails. So I've done live videos. I've learned a lot, but the more I learn, the more I realize there is to learn. And it's just connecting with some younger people that would be willing to work with an older person who's had some experience to add to their talents so that we could work as a team.
Honestly, I'm sorry. What do you have to offer at this point? If you don't know how to use the internet, why would you expect the younger generation to be like, yes, I will join you and you can teach me things? They're the ones who, like, she's literally sitting here asking, like, a younger person to teach her. So what do you have to offer? I know that sounds so rude because she's an older woman. I understand how shitty it sounds. But sometimes the truth fucking sucks. Sometimes the truth hurts. And ma'am, I think if I was going to sit here and give her actual, like, good advice, I would say stick with what you know, right? Like, of course it's not a bad thing to learn new skills and stuff. But, like, her network, like, her warm market, they're probably all older also. So, like, who's gonna trust you more, dude? A younger kid on TikTok who sees you showing up in your 70s being like, I'm not retired yet, I don't have financial freedom, but I've been doing this for 30, 40 years. Now, let's get financial freedom together. Is that person going to trust you, or is it going to be someone at your church? You know what I mean? Like, someone at your bingo night, ma'am. Like, those are the kind of people that you're probably going to have more of an effect over. I get that you want to, like, get more younger people on your team because, hello, there's more younger people out there to join your team than older people. But, like, I don't know. I don't know how to like say this without being like super duper rude, but I think you guys know what I'm trying to say. It doesn't sound shitty, it's the truth. MLM, you need an upline to teach stuff. She can't. Right. Like, what is she going to teach you? We all know that the MLM and network marketing industry saw a boom when the internet happened. It's very obvious that the internet is a tool, a very successful tool, something that people absolutely have used to grow their network marketing businesses very successfully. And it's like, she doesn't know how to do that. Like, it's very obvious which direction you need to be going, and she doesn't know how to do that. But younger people do. You don't want to recruit a downline who's going to have to teach you stuff. Like, what? Come on.
To propel both people and teams forward.
I think it's language.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
sorry, I think that first of all, it's there are a couple ways to approach that, because first of all, I think that the information never really changed. The skills, they don't change.
That's a lie. You don't know how to use the internet. The internet is a skill.
The way we do business, the style may change, but the basics, the core of how to build a business, which is building relationships, it's not going to change. The piece of the technology that may deliver the message may change, but how we do business.
The technology you used before the internet was called the Postal Service. It was called like a telephone, like a landline. Come on.
In its core is not changing with time. Building the relationships, it's still part of what we do on a daily basis. Having the conversations, telling the stories that will open up people's mind, that's not going to change. It's going to change the delivery mechanism.
Imagine
now
her
it's
in
going to be live,
WFAB. Oh my God.
Video into your social platform.
Okay, real talk. Do you guys think that, like, if this woman showed up to iGenius and WFAB and being like, I would like to join WFAB and iGenius, please, and she, like, did everything that you're supposed to, because all those WFAB girls are like, oh, I won't give you the time of day unless you buy, like, the top package or whatever. So she does that, she shows commitment, whatever. Do you think, even if she was, like, extremely successful, do you think WFAB would let her hang out with them? I don't. I really don't. Because they have, like, this image. They're party girls. They're always going to all the social events and stuff. This woman's tagging along? I mean, maybe, but I don't see WFAB being that. Like, they're too shallow for that,
For example, instead of having a belly-to-belly meeting in the hotel room. So the delivery changes, but the core of the business does not. So on one side, I think that you can, and I'm sure you can bring so much value to the younger generation. And just like you said, lock arms with somebody and help them pretty much recruit on purpose somebody younger and exchange the knowledge and tell them, it's like, hey, I'll teach you how to build this business. Yeah. I'll attach you to my hip and I'll teach you everything I know, how to be a total rock star in network marketing.
If you knew how to be a total rock star in network marketing, then you've had a lot of years to figure that out, and here you are, asking for advice still. I'm sorry, she has nothing to offer anybody.
And I would love if in the process you help me to utilizing new technology, utilizing social media, utilizing Zoom, utilizing all the different new delivery mechanism to still deliver the truth and the guts of our business. So I think that would be my answer. Lisa,
Yeah. I'll just add a little to that. Barbara, you have a superpower, and your superpower has gotten you where you are.
What's her superpower? Hey, Lisa, yeah, if you guys aren't up to date with this conference, this Lisa chick, her thing is like she's always running around saying that everyone has superpowers and stuff, except she doesn't actually say what those superpowers are. She did mention at one point like something about like duplicating yourself, so I'm like, oh, so you can clone yourself now? Is that where we are? No, Lisa Nichols is always telling everybody that they have superpowers. I would like to know what she thinks this woman's superpower is.
And Offer your superpower.
Very delicious
It'll be
cookies?
different from
Yeah,
theirs.
maybe.
But when I was in
She can knit a mean sweater.
my early 30s, Barbara, I attached myself to 3 older white men, all in 68, between 68 and 79. And I wanted to know what they knew. And I taught them what I knew, and I gave them zeal, and I gave them, you know, all the colors of my wings. But my business grew because I tethered myself and attached myself to men about 40,
Cheers for
50.
Gabby, thank you. Listen, I'd pay to see a Nana out party WFAB. I would absolutely love to see that. Damn, that would be A+ content, okay? We would all love to see it. Will it ever happen? Probably not.
Years older than me.
But thank you.
And they weren't even my
Thank you, Gabby.
nationality, weren't my gender, and weren't my age, but they had something I wanted. So they're out there because I'm a product of it. I'm a product of the young people that you're looking for, not so young as I was then.
Yeah, but Lisa Nichols, I don't know how old she is, but I don't think she's that old. And also, thank you again, Gabby. But also, like, she presents herself as younger and more energetic, so, like, maybe younger people are more likely to attach them to her hip. You know what I mean? But, like, this lady, they'll break her hip. That was mean, I'm sorry.
So what's your superpower? And offer your superpower up. Remember, energy grows where energy goes. So don't spend a lot of energy on what you don't know. Spend a lot of energy and time spotlighting what you do know. And while every young person won't be a fit for
Exactly,
you,
Sarah.
you only want to play with people who want to play with you. Right? And so there are some out there who are excited to have your loving energy while they learn from you. And your job is to rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat until you find them, until they find you. All right, now.
Should we
Thank
go to
you.
Rosalinda?
You're
Thank
welcome.
you, Barbara.
Yes. Rosalind?
I'm sorry, her name was Barbara. Not to talk shit about anyone whose name is Barbara, but, like, that's such a... Like, of course her name is Barbara. She looks like a Barbara. She fits Barbara. Of course. Sorry.
Rosalind. Let's go to Rosalind, room
Be
number
nice
8.
to Barbara.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Can?
Hi, first of all, thank you for taking my question. I feel really honored. It's my 4th year, I think, being crew at this incredible event, and I'm always learning. So this is my question. My first Valley was 30 years ago when I was in a wheelchair and couldn't walk. Doctors said I wouldn't walk again. So I got myself better, developed a healthcare system, indirectly entered network marketing, and I got sent a check. And then with money I earned in those
Oh, no. This is the video that I was sent.
relationships. So I've
Okay.
lost a lot of assets and I'm coming out of the valley and I'm clear what I want to do, but I'm not sure which thing to do first. And I'm going to explain. I know I have to put healthcare online and that will then lead into my product network marketing. The issue is the company I've been with has been around a long time and they're
Herbalife?
very stable, but they have serious supply issues right now, which have been going on for quite a long time.
Fucking every MLM, dude. I'm sorry. Every MLM has supply issues. When I was in Lime Life, I know I've told this story before, but when I was in Lime Life, I signed up, I think there were like 10,000 distributors or something like that. So it was fairly new. But they, like, as soon as I signed up, like, I couldn't buy, like, they sent me my starter kit or whatever, but I really couldn't buy much. Like, my foundation shade, I didn't get it until, like, a few months in, because it was just out. I remember they were always sending emails and being like, this item's gonna restock this day, like, so they would send that to the distributors, and then we would buy it all. Like, because they wanted people to be like, oh, you're building a kit so you can go and do at-home makeup parties and stuff like that. You got to have a foundation for every skin color. You got to da-da-da. So, like, that was what they were trying to push on everybody. So, of course, when they restocked, all the distributors went and bought everything, and then it was out of stock again. And their excuse was like, oh, well, it's growing pains. Because, like, you couldn't sign up for not Young Living, for Lime Life. We were all waiting. They like opened up enrollments. Like, they had shut them down at one point, and then they reopened it, and then of course, then they have all the hype and they're like, "Oh yeah, you gotta join now because like this is when we're gonna have the most growth and you're gonna be so successful." And blah blah. Not me, sis. Wasn't me. Could never be me. Not that I mean, I'm glad it wasn't me at this point. Could you imagine if I was like an actual Hun? Ugh, God. Anyway, yeah, supply chain issues. I also remember when I did my deep dive on Color Street, I remember like, I mean, this was a few years ago, but like, I remember finding videos of distributors complaining that everything was out of stock. Like, yeah, okay. Seriously, every single MLM has supply chain issues all the fucking time. And they will always say it's because of growth. They're like, oh, we're just growing so much, we can't keep up with the demand. At this point, I'm calling bullshit on a lot of it. So, anyway. Also, what she said, like, put healthcare online. Like, what does that mean? What do you mean put healthcare online? Healthcare, aka, like, whatever pseudoscience it is that your MLM pushes, you know? Like, you put out some blog posts and shit, and then be like, and if you want to be healthy, using this article that you just read that has no scientific backing, buy my protein powder. Is that what she's talking about? Because that's kind of shitty.
And
Hi, Tanya.
so that's, I'm like not sure if their plan actually pays enough to grow the business, because I know in other trainings Eric has said, you know, the plan has to be right. So there's the product supply and plan. The second thing is, right now there's a big opportunity in real estate and investment, and I know that's something I'm really good at.
How? I'm sorry. No, it is a seller's market right now. What is she talking about? Well, I don't know. Maybe it's different where she's at. She doesn't, I mean, she has an accent. Maybe she lives here, but I guess everyone's economies are different. So maybe there's opportunity wherever she's at. What accent is that? Is she Australian? New Zealand? I don't know. Y'all tell me. But, like, in America anyway, and specifically where I live in Arizona. Oh my gosh. Kirsty Watson, thank you for the dono. Hello from South Africa. First time catching a live. You've entertained me through so many work days. Thank you for all that you do. I'm so glad that you're here. Thank you so much. That's very, very kind of you. Wait, someone... Joni, you left Color Street. Ayo! Great job getting out. That's awesome. What was I talking about? I got distracted by a dono. Oh, the real estate. Okay. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, so... we bought our house 8 years ago. 7 years ago. We've been in this house for like 7.5 years. Thank you, MLM No, for joining. And right now, obviously it's not in any place to sell. I still have to put popcorn ceiling on my roof. Been like that for like years. Our house now, if we sold it, we'd be able to sell it for more than double what we bought it for 8 years ago. It's ridiculous. Like, so who, if you're in real estate right now, in America anyway, real estate is a bubble that's about to burst. If you go buying up a bunch of properties right now, it could burst tomorrow, dude, and then you're out hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like, seriously. You think she's British? Okay. I'm really bad with accents, but... No, Kirsty, don't apologize. I did take my Adderall today, but it doesn't seem to be helping my squirrel brain, like these Huns always used to say. Thank you, Monica. That's very nice of you. I love this community because of the idea that when people leave an MLM, we congratulate them for getting out and not shame them for being in. It's amazing. Well, yeah, like that's exactly the whole point of all of us being here, right? Like. Anyway, yeah, I don't know, maybe in the UK, in England or whatever, the real estate market is a buyer's market, but right now it's like, where I'm at, like, I know some personal friends who are like, I want to buy a house, but like, I can't afford anything out here. Like a 1-bedroom apartment, there's one down by my house I was looking at just out of curiosity what people are paying. A 1-bedroom apartment that's like 600 square feet was like $1,300 a month. And I'm like, my mortgage is less than that. Like, way less than that. Like, hundreds of dollars less than that, you know? Same in the Seattle area, yeah. It's wild. At one point, our house was worth almost triple what we bought it for in 2014. It's gone down a bit since then, but it's still valued at more than double. Right. Yeah, it's wild. My best friend bought a house like a year ago or something like that for almost $500,000, and it's like, I mean, it's a nice house, but it's kind of like in the middle of nowhere, like in the middle of the desert, like, so location isn't really like great, and square footage, like, it's not a mansion or anything by any means, probably bigger than my house and nicer than my house, but like not $500,000 worth. Like, holy moly. Hi, Clown Town. And I told her, I was like, are you sure? Like, I was telling her, like, maybe don't drop $500,000 on a house right now, because like the real estate market's gonna fucking crash, and that house won't be worth more than like $250,000. Yeah. I bought a condo in Central Mass for a little over $2,000 a couple years ago, and I could easily sell it for a $100,000 profit now. Housing is absolutely wild. Yeah, and like my husband and I have been talking a lot. Like, we're trying to kind of come up with a plan. We want to move probably to northern Arizona just to get out of the heat, but like still stay in the state because we love it here. But yeah, like if we could sell our house while the market is still like good, we could get like a good 6-figure profit to be able to throw down on a house in northern Arizona. But like, you never know, the market is so volatile, it's all over the place. But whatever. Yeah, in America, you're not gonna, it's not a time for investors, you know. You'd want to invest in properties when prices are low. So anyway,
and it's a moment in time in the next year, so I'm trying to decide. And there's also network marketing in real estate, and I don't know if that works. So that might be a question for Marina. Does network marketing as a real estate broker work? Because I've got an on-hold license. So my vision is I want to build my healthcare online with the products that I've used for 30 years that I completely believe in, but their supply.
No MLM sells healthcare products. What? Are you serious, ma'am? Supplements are not healthcare. And it's really weird that, like, if she's British, like, doesn't the UK have, like, universal healthcare and stuff like that? So it's, like, it's really interesting to me that she's just like, yeah, I'm selling healthcare through an MLM. What? Like, maybe Amari would be like, we're selling mental health. Well, but it's supplements, though. Like, you can't call it healthcare. You can't say you're selling healthcare, you know? That's wild.
They have a serious supply issue because they rebuilt their factory and it's not up to scratch yet. So there's a lag, and then there's, do I do something in? So I'm going to do them all, but I don't want to do them all at once, and I don't know which one to do first. In the past, I built them all together.
Yeah, doing everything at once is going to be definitely tough because you cannot serve all the masters. At the end of the day, you only have so much time in your day. And if you do kind of like halfway all three of them, you're not necessarily going to give the necessary time and focus to build something of substance. So we definitely have, and you kind of like, you have to make that choice because at the end of the day, if there is a shortage in supply, it's going to...
It's under attack right now, the universal healthcare in England, really? Well, I know that Boris Johnson guy was kind of like an English Trump, so I guess that doesn't surprise me. What does surprise me, though, is that, like, I guess hearing that, but then also, like, I've heard the same stuff about Canada. Like, they're trying to, like, get rid of their universal healthcare and stuff and go a more American route. And to me, I don't understand how anyone could look at the state of our country right now and be like, let's do more of what they're doing. Why would you do that? Why? If you're the top 1%, I can see why, because you'd be making a lot more money, but it's fucking over, like, your entire country's citizens, you know?
Going to continue probably because the whole world is going through the shortage in supply because of the different factories, because of the COVID, because of like so many things. Right now, before it was like, oh, now it's the wait time is like 3 weeks or 2 weeks or whatever. Now people start talking about 48 weeks, 52 weeks. Like I had to wrap my head around it.
Marina, there's a specific reason. They moved their head office factory and rebuilt a whole new factory. So there's a very specific reason why they have a shortage. It's the first time in 30 years they didn't have
Right, so
product.
the reasons
Yeah.
can be different. What I'm saying right now, the
Yeah.
world is learning that it's
Sorry, I
okay
have
to
popcorn.
wait for something a little bit longer. Like I said before, when was something normal to have like 3 weeks, when people started telling me 48, I'm not talking about specifically network marketing products. I haven't heard that one yet. But I had to wrap my head around, it's like, how much is the 48 months? It's just like, 48 weeks. I mean, it's like, what are you talking about? Are we talking about years now? So on one side, the world is learning it's okay to wait a little longer. For the network marketing specifically, it's up to you to decide if you still believe in the product, if you still believe in the mission of the company, if you still believe in the leadership of the company, that they're gonna figure it out. Because the problem's gonna come and go. Real estate market is not right now gonna be on the rise. If you look at the market right now, and I'm not real estate, don't take my advice seriously, okay? I'm kind of like,
Then why are you here? Why are you giving advice if you're telling people not to take your advice? They paid thousands of dollars to be at this conference, probably. Most of these people did, allegedly. And now you're just going to be like, don't listen to what I have to say.
I heard it from a friend who understands more about it. But right now, because of and I'm not sure where you live. Are you in States?
I'm currently in Canada.
In Canada.
I'm from Europe, yeah.
So what is happening because of the different banking and right now the inflation, and they're raising the percentage, so the mortgage is going to be much more expensive. So the real estate market was on the high. Now because of that, people do not have the ability to take as many loans as they want to. They're going to be less of buying power, so the market going to go on the down at some point. And people are talking about it's going to go on the high, it's going to go on the down. Nobody really knows, right? Everybody is right now doing this and hoping it's going to blow the way they think it is. So
She's right.
I would, on one side, if you know that business, you follow your gut, you follow your education on it, and you make a decision. If you look at your network marketing opportunity, the questions that I would want to answer is, do I believe in the leadership of the company to figure it out? Do I believe they're going to get their thing together and they're going to do the shipping and kind of like solve the supply chain and make sure the shipping...
Sheila, thank you for gifting 10 memberships. More Pop-Tarts in the chat. More Pop-Tarts in the chat. Yeah, woohoo. All right.
of the product
Thank
going
you.
to start happening faster? If the answer is yes, then I would give them a little bit time. The way you're going to handle your prospects or your distributors and your team in this situation is, that's what I did when I had, when I joined my first, it was my second company when I rejoined network marketing. They opened Ukraine, and it was the second time when they opened my country, and they still did it wrong. And what was happening, I had 4 months delay of my products being shipped, and we had 4 months delay on our commissions being paid. It's really hard to do business when you don't get the money and when you don't have the products. It's really hard to sell kind of like the story and some oxygen out there. So what helped me tremendously was to see...
Katie Cat, thank you for joining. Did she say it's hard to sell oxygen? What is this? What is she talking about?
To talk to my prospects and my team and be upfront and say, hey, listen, this is what's happening, and set up the proper expectation.
Honestly, I don't even know what the question was.
Because when I tell them, it's like, the company is new, they just opening our country, there are so many challenges that come with it. As you know, as you business people, whatever, it's not gonna be easy. So I'm not gonna lie to you and say it's gonna happen tomorrow and you're gonna have your product in 2 weeks. But what I know, they're working really, really hard. What I know, they're making all the efforts because they really wanna launch our market. And we're expecting right now it to be this. At the same time, I started solving problems on my own. I became a country manager, and kind of like, that was not paid for being a country manager. I was just trying to solve the problem.
I think a country manager is called like a president or like a prime minister.
For myself. So if you have the ability to solve a problem, provide that solution to your company, do it. It might be tough, especially if we're talking about the production of the product. It might be a little bit too hard to solve it on your own. But if you tell your team and your prospects, if you set up the proper expectation, they will forgive you much more often than you think. But if you tell them it's going to happen tomorrow, that's when they're going to hate you. That's when they're going to start leaving the business. That's when they're going to start taking shots at you and the company and not take it seriously. But when you be upfront with them, it's business. We are not selling magic beans here. We're not having a magic wand. We just throw it in the sky and everything going to magically appear. It's a normal business that applies by the normal.
It is not a normal business. It's a multi-level marketing business. It's not, you don't even own the business. Like, shut up. Also, it's like, I always say this, but if you were to tell the truth about what these network marketing businesses are really all about and what you need to actually do to actually make money and have financial freedom, if you tell the truth about all that, excuse me, people wouldn't join. So, like, you have to sprinkle some sugar on top of that truth or omit the truth entirely. Because if people know the truth, no one's going to want to join. But I feel like Marina's just saying this to cover her ass, right? Because, like, she can't sit up here and be like, oh, just lie to people. Just stretch the truth. Make it sound better than it actually is. She's just like, yeah, no, you got to be honest. If you're honest, no one will join. So, you know what? That's really good advice, actually. Keep going with that, Marina. Good job.
Law of economics, of supply and demand, and all these different things. So just be honest and upfront with your team and say, hey, this is what I'm expecting if you want to go that route. If you don't believe in your leadership to solve that, that's a separate conversation.
I believe they'll solve the problem, and I know I totally believe in the product. It's the only one I want to share because I know it for 30 years. But then if I do a presentation and say, order this, and they can't order.
I wonder what it is. I wonder if she's in, like, Herbalife or is it Arbonne? She says she's been with it for 30 years, so.
Order it. Do I wait till their supply is more stable for a few months and then?
The stream is granola bar flavor right now. It was popcorn flavor earlier. You missed it.
And while in the meantime, do my other business.
If you have to pay the bills, and right now your network marketing business is not paying your bills, and it will not in the next couple of months, you have to figure out to pay your bills.
Yo. She's been in this network market, in the same business for 30 years. And she's, like, admitting that it's not paying her bills. What happened to the whole, like, you don't just get rich quick overnight. Like, you have to put in work, but, like, over time, you can absolutely do it. It's like she's been in here for 30 years. She's at, like, a giant network marketing conference right now. What more could this woman be doing? Seriously.
Right?
Yeah.
So you still keep your team together. You still support them. You still do what you can
He's not
do.
here. Itty bitty fat kitty's here though. She's sleeping under the chair. Ooh, how do I? There she is. Fat kitty. Meow. Hi. Come see me. Oh, the fat kitty. Okay, yeah, come here. Oh. Ooh, we got the fat furry one now. Okay, great.
Situation that control what you can, and in the meantime also because you can still do the business part-time, right? You can still support your team and you can still
that was my
grow the
question,
business.
because in the past I've seen my business always grew when I did an intense amount of activity. So then there's part of me thinking, well, if I only do a little bit, is it really going to grow? Because I know I did, like, a solid month or whatever, and it grew, and I found leaders. So this was the conflict in me of dripping with the business, because then I'm like, if I do a lot now, there's no product or not enough product. So you're saying, like, just, I was
like I said, what do you need to do right now
nice.
to pay your bills? Do that, so you don't starve your family, right? And at the same time, you cannot grow. So it's harder to grow when things are going in decline, but you still need to support your team. You still need.
She drooled on me, and now there's drool dripping down my arm. You're too fat to go on my desk. You take up too much room. Can you say meow meow? Say meow. Meow. She purring. Meow. No meow meows for you. Sorry.
To pour into them, you still need to help them, right?
Hey,
Because
Sam,
if
how
you
are you
leave
doing?
completely, when you come back, they're gonna be gone too, right?
Yeah,
So
okay.
you just need to focus more on what generates right now the income for you, so you can pay your bills and still do your business part-time, still grow your team as much as you can with the circumstances that you have. I hope that answers
Thank you so
your
much.
question.
Yeah.
What
Thank
she
you.
said.
What she said.
I like having smart friends.
So much.
All right, so we're gonna have somebody in the studio who wants to ask the question.
So here's what I want to say before you raise your hand to ask a question. Think about the thing, and you can also go back and ask questions regarding technique and speaking as well if there's something we've covered. But ask the question that you know, if I got the answer to this, that can help me go from walking slow to a trot or from a trot to a run. So think about that, and then think about in the area of money, finances, mindset, relationship, personal wellness. You can go across the board with us, and we'll at least give you our perspective. So don't feel like you're limited to anything. Anyone else in the studio? Tell me your name.
This is freezing.
Was that
Oh, sorry.
was that your hand up for the? So that was your hand up. So after her, I'll come to you. Okay.
That was the recording that, so the person who recorded this for us, lives in Australia, and it was like 3 o'clock in the morning for her when she was filming this for us, so she, like, was recording it on her phone and then didn't realize that the aspect ratio got all fucked up and she was sleeping. But halfway through this, like, entire video, it goes back to widescreen, so sorry about that.
Perfect. I wasn't sure whether you was holding the mic for her.
Hi,
Hi.
I freaking love you. It's so amazing to be in such
love you.
greatness. My question is, my mindset is my biggest detriment.
Sure.
And like, I remember seeing you on Oprah years ago.
Yes.
And to see you now.
I look totally different, huh?
you-
It was the craziest thing. I was still working to get to me, as you could see just by the appearance.
Yeah. I want to know your number one mindset hack to like overcome.
Yeah. Yeah. So tell me your name, sweetie.
Jessica.
Jessica. Jessica, I was backstage earlier and I heard you. And I was sending you energy and love backstage as you shared your truth.
Dude,
And
it's
it's
so
so funny
quiet.
that we're talking right now, because from backstage I was like,
Yeah, everything is up all the way. I can't turn her up anymore, I'm sorry.
that's my sister. I know right where she is. And you know I know, which is why you want to know. So I would be doing you a disservice if I told you it was a one-moment hack. I would be doing you a disservice, sis. And it is a mental thing, though, first. And you know, I sat in a body twice this size for 19 years, including when you saw me on Oprah. So you said something earlier. You said I'm covering up, right? I recognize that my weight, may I just speak directly to that? My weight was a jacket. It protected me from a lot. It protected me from shining as much as I would shine, because I was so bright in my personality that being bright and sexy and small just seemed like it was a danger zone for me. And so I did it so that I can be liked more, and then it just got out of control and I didn't know how to turn back the dial. So number one, I am going to invite you boldly. I'm gonna go out off script, okay? For Jessica.
You know,
Isn't this whole part off script? I think this was supposed to be a Q&A. She's like, I'm gonna go off script. Is this whole thing just scripted? I don't think so.
oh, we didn't have script.
Right, we didn't have one. That's the joke. We didn't have a script. But tomorrow morning, before the official conference begins, we're gonna, for anyone interested, we're gonna talk about a special something that we're doing in September. And it's a small group of people. And I'm gonna invite you to move a mountain if necessary to be there.
That's impossible.
Because what happens in that time is that I spend the morning just doing all of this healing. Like, I'm a healer disguised as a businesswoman with a few talents in speaking. And I don't call myself that. Still is very uncomfortable, but I've been blessed with skill sets just to help. And so
Yeah, it's
I'm not
12:19
gonna
here
tell you
on
that
the
there
West
was one
Coast.
hack. I'm gonna tell you, and I'm gonna show you, if you're open, some things that I did to me first. And everything we do at that time, if you can just make sure you're there, I did it to me first. And only when it worked I decided to share it with others. Does that make sense?
100%.
No,
And so I
none
don't
of that
wanna
made
give
any
you one
sense at
line.
all.
I don't want to mislead you. You've already done so much. I want to give you the place that we can go deep and we can work. And you can hold you. And I can hold you. And we can hold you. And then watch the person that emerges on the other side of that. Would you trust me on that?
I trust you already.
Okay.
Of course you do. You're like starstruck by her. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure she just plugged her own event. If she said, I'm gonna invite you, does that mean she has to pay for a ticket? Or are you inviting her out of the kindness of your fart? And you're gonna teach her how to move a mountain. Really? Is that what's going on here? Do you think Eric Worre or even Marina Worre there on the stage with you? Do you think they don't mind that you're just plugging another event? Great.
And I know that didn't answer you directly, but it's coming.
Thank you.
Hi, Elisa, Marina. Thank you. Thank you. Okay.
She's speaking English. Perfect. I'm proud.
Okay, thank you. I'm from Colombia.
Hi, honey.
Thank you. Okay. Tengo una comunidad que se llama Movimiento Mundial de Imparables.
I have a
que inclu-
community that is called is Unstoppable Global Movement.
Y trabajamos con mujeres y hombres para descubrir su potencial.
And we work with the women and men to discover their potential.
Y mi pregunta va directamente pues a las dos y a este evento porque quiero saber por qué enfocarnos en trabajar directamente con mujeres, por qué la mujer y cómo logramos realmente generar un impacto en ellas para que transformen
Ma'am, you
no
need
solo
to
sus
let the
vidas sino la de
translator
millones
translate.
de mujeres que por ejemplo están en este evento.
And my question is, specifically with this event, why is that we work specifically with women to help them to transform their life and impact the rest of the world?
So the question is why we're trusting women?
Or
No.
working specifically.
Why? Because she works with both.
Okay.
Why are we working?
She is talking specifically with this event that is just related with women. Why women? Why?
Why are we asking this question? It's so obvious. All these people have been asking very obvious questions so far. Hey, ma'am. The reason that women are being focused on in this this conference here is because women are they make up a majority of network marketing. They make up a majority of network marketing distributors. They are much more involved in them statistically than men are. So yeah, it only makes sense to target women, to make them feel empowered. Yes. You know that's why they're doing it. Come on. Let's not play silly. She's going to probably give something like women are so they're not given enough chances, which I mean in a lot of ways that's true. But they're not given enough chances to shine, and they're not given enough chances to be more powerful than men, and blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, I mean, that's all, I guess, true to an extent, but this conference is for women because, like, if you empower these women, they will feel more empowered to go recruit more women. Easy.
Why is that is
I just
the
want-
focus to work with women and then learning from your
Right.
perspective how she implemented to work and transform people's life in what she does.
Got it. So the reason why I started this event and made it a women's event, right? First
Was
of all,
for
because
money.
77% of all the participants are women.
There you go. I guess I'm not. Well, you know what? I am kind of surprised that she just like straight up admitted that instead of making up some like bullshit, something about how powerful women are and they need to just like find their inner gladiator or whatever they were saying earlier. And I don't know, dude. I'm surprised that she's being truthful here. But yeah, I mean, that seems like a pretty obvious answer. Yep. Women are targeted. Women are more vulnerable. Therefore, they make up a majority of the industry.
And when you understand that we have that many women kind of like as a raw material coming into this profession, and we don't have that same percentage at the top. So that was my concern. So, Joanna, if you want to translate that.
Wait, is she suggesting that, so there's 77% of women in the network marketing industry, but we don't have 70% or 77% of women at the top of those MLMs? Like, it's made up more of men? Like, if you were to take the top 1%, more of them would be men than women? Really? I don't believe that. So, I don't know. I don't know how to find that statistic. Like, how many people in the top 1% of network marketing are women? I wonder if there's a statistic for that. There probably is somewhere.
Oh, you getting a translation? Perfect.
Okay.
So 77% of women, unfortunately, not the same percentages at the top.
I'm going to look it up.
So I started asking myself question, what do we need to do? How I can inspire women more so we have more women leading the teams, leading the charts inside of the organization and achieving top highest ranks. And I do believe that, as you can see, a lot of men are coming to this event. A lot of men are embracing this opportunity.
Dude, the first thing so I searched percentage of women in the top 1% of network marketing. The first thing that came up is some blog that does that misquoted statistic we hear all the time where they say 82% of women making over $100,000 a year do it through network marketing. That is not a real statistic. That's not real. What the statistic is, oh, okay, well then here we go. This is pretty much the statistic I was looking for. 82%, hold on. 82% of the people making over $100,000 a year in network marketing are women. That's what the statistic is. But this statistic that they're always throwing all over the place is 82% of women making over $100,000 a year do it through network marketing. No, they don't. There's doctors, there's athletes, there's supermodels, there's a lot of industries and jobs that are paying women over $100,000 a year. So I think but see, then she's like, oh yeah, but there aren't enough women at the top of multi-level marketing. Like, we make up 77%, but we don't have that much at the top. But I'm pretty sure that statistic that I just read, the way they flipped it around, the statistic, of course they like changed that statistic around to make it sound like, oh, if you want a chance at making $100,000 in your lifetime, yearly, whatever, you got to join network marketing because 82% of the women that you know that are making $100,000 are all in network marketing. That's not the statistic. The statistic is 82% of the people who make over $100,000 a year in network marketing are women, is what it is. And then in that case, that is like the opposite of what she was just saying. Like, not enough women are making enough money. These statistics are all over the place. You know what I would love to see? I would love it if, like, some agency somewhere, like, got trustworthy numbers on all of these statistics that we're always questioning. I would love to see one set of data from a trustworthy source that says, here are the statistics, these are what they are. There we go. But for some reason, there's just so much convoluted shit. We can't keep up with it. It sucks.
Because it's not that I'm eliminating men and I'm not allowing them to participate.
Sorry, I'm also like itching my face a lot because Itty, I was petting her and her hair was like flying all over the place and now it's sticking to my face. So I'm not like picking my nose. There's just like my face is all itchy and there's like cat hairs flying everywhere.
I am inviting all the men, and all the smart men are here, and all the smart men are watching online as well. But I do believe that because if you, as a man, you have so many women in your organization, it's important for you to, as a man, to see what inspires us, what drives us, what helps us to step in our true potential. So that's why I invite all the men into this type of an event. But at the same time, I want to showcase women on stage because I want to pour that belief back into women. I want to pour that confidence back into women.
Yeah, Petra, you're talking about Taylor Kirby. Or wait, no. What's his name? Hunter Maxwell Newell, I think is his name. The one who ripped his shirt, the shirt ripper, that's his name. But then also in paparazzi, you have Taylor Kirby. So, yeah, no, we know that men are in network marketing. But statistically, most people in network marketing are women. So, there's that.
And I want to pour that back into us and to give ourselves permission to play at the highest level that we possibly can play. So that's the reason why I invite all the women, I invite all the men, but with this specific event, and as you know, we have a GoPro in
Great job.
December. At the GoPro, it's open for everybody, and men on stage as well as women on stage. With this specific event, I just wanted to pour more into women.
And I think it's important, an important distinction. You invite everyone.
Right.
You only spotlight women on stage,
Right.
though, but everyone's invited. And that was a great distinction when I realized that. Like, oh, men are invited, but this is a place where women get to pour into the biological difference of, I know I serve humanity, but when I'm focused on the woman in humanity, I focus on her. And when I focus on the man in humanity, I focus on him. And then there is the
Sorry, I'm
collective.
texting my
And so I
manager.
think that that's a beautiful distinction that you helped me to get as well, because I wanted to talk to men as well. And she was like, talk to the men as well, but tell us what we need to do as women particularly. And if you notice, all the techniques I'm teaching go either way.
Right.
Go either.
And everything that we're teaching at this event, everybody can use it, all the
Yeah.
strategies, and the mindset and everything.
I just have a question,
I
not for me,
silenced my
but
phone.
somebody
I'm done.
just
Sorry.
text me. And is that okay that I ask the question? And
Sure, we
going
probably,
a
it's gonna
little
be
over,
the
but
last
we gotta-
question,
yep,
so.
okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
go
we
ahead.
are over?
No, go
Oh.
ahead, ask the question, and that's gonna be the last one we'll
She
take.
just want to know, because you talk about permission in the prior session, and she wants to know how she can give herself permission. She's dealing with a situation where she is partnering with somebody. They have assets together in this business, but she's not getting the same feedback from him. And it's either she's losing her business or getting bad in front of her rest of her organization. What will be the step that she needs to take to be herself again, either business or herself?
Oh, I don't even know, I mean,
You want-
it's her question to answer, what if she wants to be herself or the business, and I want to hear you answer to
Yeah.
this, but, I mean, I would choose myself.
So there's always a fear. There's always a fear when you have to stop and pivot. One hand up, online, one hand up, two hands up. If you have a fear when you know you have to change directions. And the reason why there's a fear is because you know you can't turn at the same pace. You can't turn. If you're on a yacht, you're on a boat, you cannot turn that boat going the same speed you're going straight. Everyone will topple over.
Why do you have to make it a yacht? Like, that could be literally any water vehicle. But no, it has to be a yacht. Sorry about my dogs.
And so where the fear comes in is she has to slow down to speed back up. And so choose to slow down, whatever that might look like. If going in the other direction serves her, money isn't good when it costs you your soul. Money isn't good when it costs you your soul.
So then stop selling your soul to the devil. I'm convinced that Satan actually is Eric Worre.
If I'm gonna cry on my pillow at night, I don't care what the pillow is made out of. I'd rather take a cheap pillow and a good night's sleep than an expensive pillow that I'm crying on all night. With that, you know your answer, sis.
Yeah.
All right, and with that,
All right.
I always do
that's-
these mic drops and then leave.
That's the wrap.
And
So,
with that, I'm out.
and you're gonna be on stage in
I am.
no time. So
Yes.
we'll see
Oh,
you in a
there's
second.
more to come. I actually changed my next session because of how hungry you guys were at that last teach. So I went back and I was like, I'm gonna teach them another technique. So soon come. Don't go
All
anywhere.
right. So we'll be back.
What is this, a fucking game show? Like, come on. That music was so bad. All right, let's see. Do I have to skip through some of this? Yeah. money isn't cheap if it costs you your soul. Like, I'm sorry, excuse me, money has no, like, you don't buy money. You can't say that money is cheap or expensive. Money is expensive. What? What was that chat even, dude? All right, we're skipping. Oh, there is kind of like a countdown timer. All right. She's coming back out. I'm sure there's music playing right now. We'll just give it a second. Is this Lisa Nichols? Because she was not just in a pink suit. Or is, oh, no, this is that other lady. There is a lady who wears a pink suit.
Unbelievable. I heard the questions, I heard the answers. And the next person I'd like to bring to the stage was the first woman in personal development to
money is money, exactly.
make a
like,
$1 million offer on her book. They paid her $1 million for her book. She has co-authored and authored 7 bestsellers. And to her peers in the personal development industry and speaking.
I'm sorry, if you've written 7 best-selling books, I feel like being offered $1 million for one of those bestsellers is selling yourself short, right? Like, I'm not in the book industry. I don't know anything about any of that shit. But if you're constantly writing bestsellers and you're probably selling each book for what, like 20 or 30 bucks or something, for the physical copies, I guess. Less than that, probably, for the Kindle versions. But $1 million doesn't seem like a lot. They're like, here you go, here's $1 million, and we will keep the rest of the profits. I feel like it would profit more than that if you're a bestseller. Yeah, and they paid her $1 million. Who? The publisher, probably? I don't know. What a weird flex. I feel like if you're a bestseller, you should be making more than $1 million on one book.
Industry. She's considered the GOAT, the greatest of all times. Please welcome back to the stage, Lisa Nichols.
Sorry. Here she comes. It's Lisa again, everybody. Woo! Yeah! Sorry. Okay, come on. What are we doing? This dance break every fucking time a speaker... Oh my god, it needs to stop. Copyright who? We don't know her. It's just every one of my streams just gets a copyright claim. It's fine. She's still dancing. Ma'am. I get it, like, you're trying to get the energy up and stuff, but can we not? Like, this is obnoxious. There's like 30 people in the audience and they're just like having a little dance party. Wow, look at all these people. Oh, they're all joining from different parts of the world. Look, oh, she's getting down. She's still going.
Ask me to have a good time. We can party all day and all night. Been waiting on a good time. I'm so excited. So like I said, I changed some things. You guys are hungry. You guys are ready. So I had like I thought it was really nice. It was a little survey, have you kind of check your posts on your passion. I thought, I'm gonna take that out and I'm gonna give you one more technique. How does that sound? Now, what I love about this technique is this technique can happen immediately. It's called the audience connection formula. I'm gonna show you the technique and then I'm gonna have you actually do it. So this technique, and you'll notice a lot of techniques are about building connection. So it builds a bridge between you and your audience instantly, where you use yourself as an example, then you proceed to we for the collective experience, and then you ask the question for you. So our nickname for it is the me, we, you. I told you guys I had like really like sucky names when I first came up with it.
Hey, Nafisha,
I never upgraded the
subscribing.
names, I just kept doing it. So it's an audience connection formula, AKA me, we, you. And this is a great formula to build connection. How many of you, a lot of times people are on stage and it's a me conversation. I'm so great, I'm so wonderful, you need to follow me, I'll
Isn't that like everything that she's been saying this whole time, pretty much? She's been trauma dumping on all of us and then telling us that we need to trauma dump and make these videos or these little speeches, these product pitches, make it all about yourself and throw in some trauma in there, you know?
Save your life and your future. Yes, have we experienced that? Raise your hand if you've experienced. I see your hand, Susie. I see your hand, Eva. I see your hand, Claire. I see your hand, Gigi. And then the other part is you hear someone speaking, and don't beat yourself up if you go, oh my God, that was me. Oh my God, because you only know what you know until you know more. No judgment. Remember how we started today? No judgment. The other type of speaker you can see at times are you. You need to do better. You need to do this. You need to do that. And that feels like you're getting beat up, right? And grown folks, and successfully grown folks, do not want to get beat up, right? And so,
but like kids want to get beat up though, right? If you're not grown, you desperately want to get beat up. No, I'm pretty sure like the phrase "they don't want to get beat up" is applicable to just about anybody. Maybe not like boxers or something, because that's their jobs, like wrestlers and stuff. Even though wrestling is fake. No, in general, people just don't want to get beat up no matter how old or successful they are.
So the audience connection formula gives you this. Now, this is a juicy one. Make sure you take a picture of this. It says, it puts you in the equation. So I never know where to be. I'm in everybody's way. So me puts you in the equation. Always be in your story. Always be in the conversation. You're never going anywhere just to do people. We're in this together. If you can feel when you hear me speaking, you should feel community. So I'll be places all over the world, you guys. I was out of the country in Swaziland. And this woman came up to me, she's like, oh my God. So let me just tell you, I've been big for a long time too, and my husband's father isn't any good. And I was just like, okay, it's a lot, real close.
Yeah, that's what you teach. You teach people to do that. Don't be surprised that people are following the techniques that you're telling them to do. You're telling your story. That's the whole thing, ma'am.
She was already in a relationship with me from this. Oprah said once that she was at an event and this woman came up to her and said, girl, I've been fat a long time too. And she was like, why did she just say this to me? Because the woman felt like she had already knew her. Right? How many of you feel like, even though we may not have spent a lot of time together, like, no, we know each other? Raise your hand if you're like, we know each other, right? That's
you don't,
the
though.
choice of words.
Like, you literally don't.
And a real connection. So me, we, you. The we allows you to begin to really gather the tribe. And then the you allows them to answer and see themselves in the conversation.
So is this like in chronological, like these are the steps, like when you're trying to connect with an audience, you're trying to have a conversation, you're like writing a speech or whatever. You first talk about yourself first, and then you say we, because we're all together. We're all in this together. And then you end it with you. This is chronological. So this is, I don't know, maybe, hopefully she'll explain it.
So many people are having a monologue when you want to have a dialogue. I'm going to adjust it, guys. Don't worry. I got your back there. They're like, what's happening? You is the opportunity to turn a monologue into a dialogue. Every time you have people raise their hands or say yes or type yes in chat, you're turning a monologue.
Oh no. Oh no, how are we ever going to learn how to connect with the audience?
A dialogue, it will stop people from checking their email while you're speaking. It'll stop them from going on social media because they're like, I'm in a conversation. But you're actually the only one with the mic. But you've curated the experience to feel like a dialogue. Does that make sense? So that we is critical, and then the you allows them to do it. So I'm going to give you the tee up to it. The cool thing about having me as your coach is that I struggled so much in class that I give you every way you can possibly need to get the content in, because I needed that. I teach like I need to learn. so that I leave no one behind. So this next
I teach like I need to learn. If you are the one with the microphone and you are the teacher, everyone else is supposed to be learning from you. What are you learning? You should already know all this.
slide gives you the phrases.
Typing two in the chat is not a dialogue. Dude, you're so right. That is why they do it, right? Like, because I know I've like brought this up before where they'll do that like at a big conference like this where they have like hundreds of people there and they're like, tell me what you had for lunch, or the type 2 in the chat if you agree, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, and I always am like, they're not going to read those. They don't care. Why do they care? This is probably why, huh? Oh, damn. We got a new slide here, too, where we're really going to learn what this we shit means.
He says, sweet. So the me, I'm gonna stay here until they take a picture. Then I'm gonna move over there so you can take a picture, right? I got no. So and don't change the formula, you guys. Like, you can change other stuff, but don't change the formula, because it's like my grandmother's sweet potato pie. You cannot take the sweet potato out of a good sweet potato pie. Right now, this is a really good sweet potato pie. Don't change the formula. Once you've
Sweet potato pie is a recipe, not a formula, but okay.
mastered it, then you can play with changing. But don't say, I just want to be unique. Trust me, this will still be unique because you still have different answers. So there was a time in my life when you go back to a time when you did something. Whatever that something is where you want to relate to the group. We have a tendency to, and then we have a tendency to shrink ourselves. Has there ever been a time in your life when all right, so all of a sudden, you are giving space. And it shows you why. We're sharing a personal experience, then we're speaking like everyone in the room is in one community. You ever step on my campus, you see my community, they're ride or die. It's like we're all a tribe, all walking together. I mean, it's from all over the world. Narissa, who was the first or second speaker yesterday, I don't know what time, it's like 4 a.m. where she is. And she's not missing a moment. Right? There's you will have a global tribe. That we is critical. And then let people choose themselves, because if they raise their hand 3 times in your speech or while you're talking, normally the 4th time is now they want to raise their hand. Now they want to be in action with you. So if you can get the yeses and the hands up early on, and not in a disingenuous way, but in a genuine way, every time they raise their hand and say yes, they're like, you're more their right fit person. Right? And so that you becomes important. I'll give you one more slide that kind of gives you, keep it relatable.
I can't read any of this.
Where were you in life? There was a time when I didn't believe that I could make a good income. There was a time when I put everyone before me. There was a time when I thought I didn't need rest. Whatever it is, we have a tendency to believe that we can't sit down and we can't rest or we miss something. We have a tendency to stand at the back of our own lines and put other people in front of us. Notice I'm just giving you all these examples. Has there ever been a time when you know you needed rest and you didn't give yourself rest because you thought you would miss something? Anybody here? Notice how I just made the room go to a dialogue. Has there ever been a time when you know you needed to ask for help, and even while you needed to
ask... Oh my God, sorry, I was trying to pause it. Just like someone in the chat was saying earlier, like saying putting 2 in the chat is not a dialogue. Just like the same way where it's like, she just is like, raise your hand if you blah, blah, blah. Look, I just made it a dialogue. No one said anything. They were just raising their hand. I mean, I guess they were responding, but like, you're not speaking one-on-one with these people. You're on the stage with a microphone and you're telling people to raise their hand and they're doing it. So, excuse me.
Ask for help, you were asking other people, what do you need? How can I help you? Anybody did that? Notice how you go, yes. Every time you do that with me, what's happening in your subconscious mind is, she's a right fit person for me because she gets me. At the end of the day, we want to be seen. We want to be heard. We want to be understood. And my brand has grown like a wildfire because I made people feel seen, heard, and understood.
I don't know if a wildfire was the best explanation or the best comparison, I guess. Because like wildfires are bad. We don't want wildfires. Oh my God.
And then they wanted to know, now what do you teach? Like, because you just feel good to be with. What do I buy? Right? And so you want to have that experience. And then your stories give space to that. Your stories allow them. So you want to find a coach that you can learn from. You want to teach the skill set that you want them to teach you the skill set that will literally make a difference in what you're doing and in the direction that you're going.
But see, this is exactly the reason why that lady, the first lady that was asking all those questions, that older lady, that's exactly why no one's going to want to join her. Because Lisa Nichols literally just sat up here and said, find a coach that you can learn from. Meanwhile, that older lady was like, I need to learn from somebody. It's like, okay, then you're not going to recruit anybody. People don't want to join your team that are going to have to teach you shit, you know?
You want to get valuable skill sets from a coach that speaks your language. You choose who that is. You choose how that goes. And you want to know what you currently don't know, or you want to know what you're currently not implementing. And you want to do it for one reason. I want to close the gap. I want to close the gap from where I am to where I know I could be. That's the goal, and that's okay. You know, when my son Jelani was 2 years old, he used to break his toys in 14 days or less. So I made a commitment that I would only spend $14 on his toy. 14 days, $14. I know some of you know this story and you love it, and I'm going to tell it to you again so that those who don't. And so I would only spend $14 for a toy. So when I went to the toy store, KB Toys on Crenshaw in Los Angeles, I went to the toy store aisle and I said, okay, here's the $14 toy. And as I'm pulling this $14 toy off of the counter, I hear Spirit say, slide down the aisle. But I got my toy. Okay, whatever. I slide down the aisle, and there I saw it. Mattel Toys, Tonka truck, $44.99. I said, oh, God, you got the wrong person. My toy is down here for $14. Because at the time, I was making between $800 to about $1,100 a month. And our standard food was beanies and weenies. And my son would often say, Mommy, the weenies are so small, I can't tell the weenies from the beanies. Because I would cut the weenie up really, really small so you can maybe get a bite in every spoonful. But you're not going to recognize them.
This is supposed to be a sad story. We can't laugh at her choice of words.
This is my truth. Times were...
No laughing at small what she call them, weenies. No laughing at small weenies, everybody. We're supposed to be a mature audience here.
We're very tight. And so I take this toy, this $14.99 that I can afford. I walk to the counter, to the checkout counter.
$14.99 is $15. Like, you round it. But she's like, I made a commitment to only spend $14. Okay, you spent $14.99, that's more than $14. You already broke your commitment. Great job.
And I buy the toy. And as I walk out of the store, I cross the threshold, and I hear God say, I said. Has anyone ever been convicted like, you know you're not doing all you're supposed to do, and you get that, I said, buy the Tonka truck. And
God did not say this to you. You really think that if God was real, he'd be sitting up there looking down on you and being like, Lisa, buy the Tonka truck, instead of, like, I don't know, like, feeding hungry children? No, he's more caught up with what fucking Tonka truck your privileged ass is buying. Meanwhile, there are people who can't even afford to eat and they're starving. No, God cares more about you, right? God cares more that you buy the Tonka truck than if someone in Africa is not getting enough food. Yeah.
Literally, I kid you not. I'm standing across the threshold. The mall is right here, Crenshaw Mall, and I'm arguing with God. I ain't got that kind of money. Do you understand what we are going to have beanies with no weenies? And because I'm so dramatic. I like have verbal arguments with God. Like I'm a special child with extra prayers.
Yeah, you're talking to yourself, ma'am. Great job.
And I'm like, you don't understand. It's hard. Like I got to put a lot of sugar in the beans. And Spirit said, go back. So I go back with an attitude. Anybody ever follow God with an attitude? Like, I'm not here to impose my belief system on you, but sometimes you're obedient with an attitude. I don't even know if that's like considered obedient. I was like, here, I want to return this toy. And the woman said, but ma'am, I said, don't ask me any questions. Just return the toy. I go get the material, and I'm mumbling the whole time. I ain't gonna have no money. No, I take the toy.
Can you imagine like how scary it must be to see this woman just bought a toy, and before she even walks out of the store, she's like, I'm going to return this toy, and then she's like mumbling to herself. Ma'am, that's pretty creepy. Someone needs to like call the police. Like, this woman needs help, right?
And my son Jelani would do this thing where he would pick the toy up and drop it. I don't know what that is about boys. They just want to break it, take it apart, dismantle it. I'm not, no offense.
I think that's just like kids. Kids do that. Yeah.
But girls, we keep our stuff together. We might be messy as all get out. We messy, but our dolls have their heads on. Like.
When I was a kid, I cut hair off of my Barbies, so. And I'm a girl.
Like, I don't know what that is. My son would just want, type in chat if you know about, if you have a son who just wants to take it all apart. Let me know that I'm not the only mama. I'm like, why do you? So my son had a toy cemetery. None of the toys in this toy box worked, right? But they would keep him occupied for like 3.5 minutes until he realized they weren't working anymore, right? And I didn't want to throw them away. Like, I'm not throwing it away. I just got that toy 14 days ago.
But it's broken.
And so I go back, I buy the toy, I take it home, and Jelani picks up the Tonka truck, picks it up, and drops it. I said, oh, this kid's gonna break this toy. And the truck just went, And y'all gotta know something about a Tonka truck. It's not even that fast. Like, there's no speed car Tonka trucks, right, guys? The guys know. They're just like, So I'm like, okay, well, he likes it. He picks it up, he drops it. He picks it up, he drops it. 7 days go by, picks it up, drops it. 9 days go by, picks it up, drops it.
9 days
I'm
go
just
by.
watching like, just wait. Wait till the 14th day. It's just gonna break like everything else. 12 days, picks it up, drops it. 14 days. Picks it up, drops it. 21 days. Picks it up, drops it. 30 days. Picks it up, drops it. 37 days. Picks it up, drops it.
We get
on the 40th
it.
day, I said, oh no, I know I gotta pick it up and drop it. Do you know how many of you, raise your hand, if you know you're so committed to something not working that you're more looking at the reasons why it's not going.
Oh no! Come back, Lisa. I gotta hear about the truck.
So I pick it up, I drop it, it goes, 60 days, y'all. Picks it up, drops it. He won't let this toy go. When he goes to daycare, this toy is right there under his arms. When the lady at daycare tried to take it away, I said, I advise you not to touch that baby's toy. Because it's the only toy that was reliable in his life. It's the only one still working.
But she spent extra money on it. Like, it's almost like you get what you pay for. If you're gonna buy a toy that's $14 and a toy that's $44, I would expect the one that costs more money to last longer. But she's making it sound like it was like God was telling her. God told her that she needs to buy the Tonka truck because it's gonna make her son happier or whatever. No, it's just like you spend more money, it lasts longer. In general, anyway. Not with everything, but I think there's a pretty logical explanation for that. Lizzie, thank you for renewing your membership. I appreciate it so much. Yeah, no, it's not. God's not like, he didn't put a protective barrier over that car. You just like, you bought, it was more sturdy. It's a pretty good explanation. I think that is a more logical and reasonable explanation than God put magic powers on this truck or something. Whatever it is she's trying to say. Tonka trucks are known to be very durable, right? Yeah, you're right.
So they got a relationship. Picks it up, drops it, 70 days. Pick it up, drops it, 80 days. Picks it up, drops it. Then he got bored with just picking it up and dropping it. Then he goes outside to the front porch and he drops it down the stairs. Ba-boom, 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 ba-boom. It gets to the bottom. Boom. I said, boy, this toy. 200 days. 200 days. Jelani just picks it up and drops it, and it's still going. So Jelani gets bored with the toy. And then so he decides to give the toy to my nephew, Jamil.
Oh, well, that's
and he
nice
gave
of
the
him.
toy to Jamil with complete instructions on how to use it. So the first thing Jamil does when he gets the toy is what, you guys? Pick it up and drop it. And it goes, And for the next 118 days, that's all Jamil does, is pick the toy up and drops it, and it goes, Jamil gives the toy back to Jelani and says, Jelani, I'm done with it. I tried everything you tried. It's still going. And so he gives the toy back to Jelani. Jelani now is like older, and he's not interested in the toy. And he says, what do you want to do, Mom? The toy still works. I said, let's go give it to Goodwill. He says, okay. So we go to Goodwill, and as we're walking into Goodwill, Jelani says, Mom, one more time. I was like, okay, baby, go ahead. And at the door of Goodwill, the last thing we saw was Jelani picked it up and what? Drops it, and it just shakes into Goodwill. I say that to say to you, I was surprised that that toy outlasted my son Jelani. I was surprised. I was shocked. But Mattel wasn't. Mattel knew exactly what that toy was made of. When that toy was on the assembly line, Mattel said, this Tonka truck is gonna meet Jelani Malik Nichols. And so this Tonka truck, it needs to have extra stick-to-itiveness. This Tonka truck has to be sturdy and resilient. This Tonka truck has to be able to be picked up and dropped a few hundred times. This truck has to outlast Jelani. So when it came off the assembly line, it was already built for my son. I'm not trying to impose my belief system on you, but I just believe, you know where I'm going, that when God, and whatever your faith is, had you on the assembly line, I just believe that when you were being built and you were being created, God said, she's gonna go through something. She's gonna be picked up and dropped a few times. He's gonna be frustrated. He's gonna be betrayed. He's gonna have partners that don't do exactly what he thought they would do. She's gonna have someone lie to her. She has to be extra resilient. She has to be full of forgiveness. I'm gonna give her everything she needs. She's gonna be picked up.
Giselle Curiel says, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord, for making me a Tonka truck instead of a Hot Wheels. Oh, man, you know, some people are built like Tonka trucks and other people are built like the dollar store Barbies where your head just falls off. This story is so dumb. Like, the meaning that she's trying to put behind it is nothing. It's not that they don't relate. You spent more money on a toy because the people who made the toy probably used more expensive material to make it more durable, and therefore it lasted longer. Shocking. No. What it is that God made the worker who made the toy so that he knew that that toy would be made more durable or whatever. Like, what are you trying to say? Where are you going with this? I think what she's going with is like, you're all God's chosen people, and you know how we know that? It's because you keep getting picked up and dropped. Just like that Chumbawamba song. I get knocked down, but I get up again. God made me a Tonka truck. It's like, what, dude? Life is like a Tonka being constantly thrown on the floor and down some stairs. Yeah, sure. But also, like, let's remember that this is an MLM conference. And when she's referring to, like, getting picked up and then dropped and then, like, getting back up again or whatever, it's kind of like a metaphor for their MLM businesses because they're constantly being let down. And she's just kind of like, don't worry, like, God made you strong so you can continue living a life of being constantly knocked down over and over again. Don't worry. Hey, don't worry. It's fine. It'll be fine. God made you strong like a Tonka truck. No. No. And what about the people, like, there has to be at least like one person in this audience who doesn't believe in creationism. So what about that person? They're just like, God didn't make me stronger than everyone else. Like, I'm gonna give myself some credit and know that I developed myself to be a stronger, thicker skinned person. No. You are a Tonka truck on an assembly line in heaven. in God's office, okay?
And dropped a few times. She's gonna have the wind knocked out of her gut. She's gonna stumble.
And her butt.
Ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. But I built her so that every time she's dropped, she does what? Goes,
She's a great storyteller. That story was just stupid.
Tonka trucks. Who has the Tonka truck on their desk? Somebody just told me they got the Tonka truck on their desk. She got the Tonka truck. So I did this at a conference years ago, and a brain surgeon said, I do 4 brain surgeries a day, and every time I walk in the surgical room, someone's life depends on me being on my best day.
Why was a surgeon at like a conference like this? Like, if you're a brain surgeon, I think you're doing okay financially, and you also don't need the help of an MLM or even like any kind of side hustle. Like, you're a surgeon.
And so whenever it's going hard, it's not every day, but whenever it's going hard and you gotta double down and remind yourself what was created on the assembly line through birth when you were being created, and you gotta remind yourself, oh, this is not the regular day, this is Tonka time. This is Tonka time. Come on, y'all. It's Tonka. Type it in chat, y'all. It's Tonka. Say it louder, y'all. It's Tonka time. Say it again. It's Tonka time. Sometimes you got to remind yourself.
God has the master plan.
Tonka.
It's Tonka
time. This ain't a regular day. This is not a regular season. This is Tonka time. And that's just a reminder to yourself that I was built for such a time as this. So when we say, I don't know how I got through it, your divine is saying, I know how you got through it. I built you to get through it. I didn't build you to stop at that. I built you. You the only one surprised in this equation. Oh, so I just stopped by. I wanted to teach you and then share a story with you. Stories are powerful because they're almost like an intermission of content. It's an opportunity to engage with the heart. I taught you very linear a moment before. I gave you systems, and then I just went into a story that just stirred up everything. Stories make the soil really well to plant the seed. And stories are the thing that helps to transform our lives, and everyone has a story. Meet another story coming to the stage. Meet another story.
Ooh, can't hear her.
I'm so blown away to be on this stage and with you all today. You know, I am so grateful that when...
Is this about to be some more poetry? What's it called? Slam poetry? Let's go. I love slam poetry time with Marina Worry and Eric Worry.
People meet me today, they meet a confident, courageous, adventurous woman who has lived and traveled all over the world as an international educator, speaker, and the creator of a global education program that transforms thousands of young lives. But what really makes my heart pause in gratitude is when I hear someone say to me, Rebecca, thank you for inspiring me to finally say yes to choosing me.
AKA, thank you for manipulating me into joining your downline. Like, is that what it is?
See, because behind those words lies a story that many people don't know. I'll never forget that hot, sultry Texas summer night in August.
Sultry? I don't know if that's the word you meant to say, but if it is, okay.
Of 2008. I found myself standing in a parking lot across from the man who I loved with everything in me.
Okay, maybe it is sultry.
He was my world. He was the man I was engaged to, committed to, dedicated to spend the rest of my life with. Sure, things hadn't always been easy, but we had 6 years behind us, and I couldn't wait to put 60 years in front of us.
I'm scared to know where this is going.
Rebecca, I can't do this. My family doesn't approve of you. It's over.
That sucks.
Over. I must not have heard him right. Over. Baby, what are you talking about? What do you mean over? What about the memories we've built, the life that we have, the future children that we've dreamt of? Over. His words felt like daggers of rejection.
This is bad acting. Like, out of all of the slam poetry stories we've heard in this conference so far, this one's the worst acting. Like, I super don't believe this at all.
Hey,
Yeah, this is a telenovela.
why wasn't I enough? Was I not pretty enough? Was I not supportive enough? Was I not loving enough? Why
Good night, Gabby.
wasn't
Thanks for being here.
I enough? I had to reclaim myself. Days into weeks, weeks into months. I had to reclaim that woman in the parking lot, but also the young girl that I had been abandoning my whole life. I had to choose me. I had to start showing up for me. I had to start listening to that voice that I had shut down.
So you joined an MLM?
I had to feel it all in order to heal it all.
Oh my God.
Each day, I began to speak the words that I longed to hear from him, but needed to hear from me. Yes, Rebecca, I choose you. I choose.
Is this Pokemon? I've been playing too much Pokemon Go, and Rebecca, I choose you! Bing! And then this lady shows up. Rebecca used manipulation and it's super effective! Oh!
You for yesterday and all that you were.
Man, this
I
is a
choose you
Wendy's!
for today and all that you are, and I will choose you for tomorrow and all that you will be. That yes changed everything. That yes propelled me to stand before you as the empowered woman I am and ask you boldly, are you ready to say yes? Are you ready to say yes to choosing you?
It froze. Is that the end?
And I know you've got it in you.
The eye of the tiger, dancing through the fire. Why the hell do we do this? 'Cause I'm gonna get a copyright strike. Okay, she's singing, talking
Stories
again.
and who's in a season, raise your hand if you're in a season of needing to choose you. And with all the great things that are happening today, that story was the story that you came for. So the science of speaking is...
Hold on. I have to read this comment from Sina, aka Potato Supreme. On uses time freedom, but attack failed. It's not very effective.
has many layers to it. And most people don't know the science of speaking. I searched.
Is there a science of speaking? I guess there's a science of everything, really.
And I couldn't find it. So that's when I locked myself in my office for 7 days. And I felt like I was qualified to create it. I was like, well, if it doesn't exist, just create it. Because you cannot, Lisa, you cannot leave this planet and not leave some structure to this place called speaking, because everyone's beginning to do it, and it's the Wild Wild West.
Does she think that she is the only speaker, the only person who does this professionally? Excuse me. Whoa, that was a good one. Yeah, no. You're not the first motivational speaker, and you certainly aren't going to be the last. And you're not, like, the biggest and best. So, like, it's a wild, wild west out here. Yeah, like, people have been doing motivational speaking for a long time. You're not the only one.
So hold on, let's bring some integrity to this industry. Let's raise the bar. Let's require that people have some skill set, or give those who want to do it and want to do it the right way, give you the access to have more confidence when you do it. So what I just gave you right before Rebecca came on was audience connection formula down in that little cell. I'm going to work really hard tonight to give you some cadence and iteration flow. If I can have more time, I'll be really pushing it, but we might be able to do this, right? Because that'll be super exciting. And then there are all these other techniques that you want to learn. And the good thing is that you learn the techniques individually. And when you learn the techniques individually, after you've learned them individually, just learn one technique. Don't try to learn all of it, you super achievers. Just learn one technique. Then learn another technique. Same way I taught my coaches, same way I've taught.
But the audience connection formula is, as a whole, is one technique, right? So if you only learn part of it, then you don't know the whole technique, you only know part of it, and then what can you do with that, you know?
Thousands of people on my campus, and then another technique. That's why they're built like cells. They're just individual techniques. And when you learn the technique, master the technique by itself. Task versus maintenance, disruptive proximity. You guys, I've done all this to all y'all before, if you've ever been in my audience. I've done it all to you. And it's just, and then once you learn them, you can learn just two. And once you've learned two, then you put them together. But you learn them separately. Does that make sense? So that they're doable and you can attain them. Full body sport, that's where you see Joanna bending over, right? That's where you see disruptive proximity was when Tanya, the scientist, remember her yesterday, the scientist, when she came and she got close to the camera? That's called disruptive proximity. Some of you have seen me, you'll see me do it before we leave. I'll come out in the audience and I'll break the fourth wall, right? That's called disruptive proximity. Now, that's a grown folk move. Don't just start out doing that. Don't leave the nest yet, hold on. But when you get comfortable, that's one of the later techniques that you do. But you get comfortable with some of these other ones, now you can go and branch out. And you do things like verbal highlight. Verbal highlight makes it so you don't sound so boring, so you're doing it like this all the time, right? And if I don't have time to do iteration flow with you guys, we'll play with some verbal highlights. I'll do one of them. You have things like integrity-based sales. I'm going to invite you. I'm going to invite you to do a deeper dive with me. I'm going to do that. It would be irresponsible of me not to.
But, like, you don't have to always accept an invitation. So if Lisa Nichols comes to you and says, I'm going to invite you to learn this shit with me, you can decline the invitation, you know? Just because you give someone an invite doesn't mean they're automatically going to show up. So
there's no way I should show you the possibility and not give you access to make a choice. And then there's opening the back door, and that's letting people make their own choice and not allowing them to feel railroaded. Right? And there's an integrity way.
Stay out of the back door.
And so these techniques, we'll have time.
Please.
We'll layer them. I'll teach you some. You already started with the Valley, and then we just taught the audience connection formula. You want to have this in your sales right now. It's just in your mind. And as you begin to learn this, you just begin to shift the way you show up.
I am so blown away.
This is going to be good. I love it when they do this. When Lisa Nichols just like randomly stops talking and then someone else comes on the stage and does something weird. She's about to do something weird or say something weird. My back door is picky. Listen, some people like the back door, okay? But I would prefer that Lisa Nichols stay away from mine.
That I'm a speaker, a best-selling author, mother of 2, and I get to teach mambo to hip-hop, history and dance, and that I get to help leaders like you storytell. I remember I had moved to the East Coast. I hiked to the top of the Wall Street conversation, and I was living my dreams. I found myself first in the office like always, getting my boss ready for the stock market bell, and then I feel something hit my building. What was was that? An earthquake?
Please don't tell me this is about to be
We're
about
in New
September
York.
11th.
We're not in Cali. New York does not have earthquakes. I look out the window, and all I see is a sun and a vast blue sky. It took me a Herculean effort to get to the stairwell, and I opened that door, and I can't breathe. There's a fire? And before me, I see 16 steps and a landing. And I know it's time for me to go. And I step with my left, and I step with my right, and I jump into the landing. And I step, step, jump, and I step, step, jump. Oh, ay Dios mío. Dear God, don't let this building collapse on me. And I step, step, jump. My family needs me. Step, step, jump. I got so much to live for. And then I hear this voice, this lady who's like, hey, stay in line. I can't listen to her. I need to focus. I need to make sure I'm landing these steps. And I step, step, jump. I can't follow the rules right now. My life is, and I step, step, jump. There's no way that I can just be polite right now.
You guys, excuse me, I have to pick my jaw up off the floor. Is this woman using 9/11 to sell her network marketing opportunity? That's what she's teaching, right? Like, even if, because I don't know who this lady is, if she's in MLM, if she's just some motivational speaker or something, whatever she is. This goes back to the whole, like, tell a story, use your trauma. This woman was in the biggest terrorist attack that this country has seen in our lifetimes. Most of our lifetimes, probably, anyway. And she's using it to be motivational? I think that, like, this is probably the worst. Like, we've seen some bad trauma dumping here, but she's straight up using 9/11 to sell her network marketing opportunity. How disgusting. Rafa P, thanks for joining. Yeah, I don't like this either, dude. Bad slam poetry about 9/11 to sell pyramid scheme makeup. Yeah. Like, I'm almost kind of speechless right now. Like, in any other situation, if you're just, like, telling this story for no reason, like, you don't have anything to gain from it. If you're in a situation where it's like, okay, my story is relevant, it's like, that's one thing. But here she is speaking at a network marketing conference and using her trauma in a terrorist attack to convince people to, or I guess to motivate people to join her downline. Wow. Whoa. Holy shit.
I step, step, jump down 46 flights of the One World Trade Center on September 11th.
Wait, no. The One World Trade Center, isn't that what it's called now? Right? I'm pretty sure that's the new one. They built the new tower, and then they have the two fountains where the old towers used to stand. That's called the One World Trade Center now, right? Back then, it was just the World Trade Center, the Twin Towers. I was in 9/11. I was in the buildings when the plane crashed. Please join my network marketing biz. Thanks. Right. So we've had 9/11 exploitation. What's next? The Holocaust. I don't think, are there any Holocaust survivors still alive? Didn't the last one die kind of recently? I mean, it was a long time ago, so I don't know. But let's bring back Tonka Time. I know, Tonka Time was ballin', all right? Now we're just watching someone exploit a national tragedy to benefit herself. Each tower had an address. Right, so like now it's just the one World Trade Center, I think. Yeah, this has no business being said here. This is, yeah. Like, what? And let me guess, she was able to recruit 3 survivors to her team that day. Right, exactly. Oh my god. Congratulations on surviving, dude. Like, thousands of people did not, though. Wow. And I'm glad she got out, all right? 2 towers, towers 1 and 2. My aunt worked at the JP Morgan Chase building directly across from the towers and watched everything happen. That is so fucking scary, dude. Yeah. I remember the first time I went to New York, I think it was like 2002, 2003. And I remember it still just being a giant hole in the ground. And you could like see where the subway would pass through and stuff. Like, it was devastating. And then I went back a couple years ago with my husband, and now it's like a beautiful like memorial and stuff. But like, she literally stepped on other people to get to the bottom of the stairs so she could figuratively step on other people to get to the top of a pyramid scheme. Pretty much, yeah. Yeah. Those are the vibes I'm getting. Yeah, for sure. I'm glad she got out, and I'm glad she made it. Even like to the point where I feel like if you're in that situation and you just need to like run for your life, like I understand they always teach you like the fire drills in school, like everyone keeping a single file line, da, da, da. I don't know. I mean, I think that is a time where I think it's okay to kind of like put your health and safety first above everyone else, but like working together can definitely save more people, so I don't fucking know. But if I was in the middle of a terrorist attack, I'd probably do anything I could to get out, but whatever.
I made it to the ground. I was confused and scared and alone. My question to each and every one of you is, what is your step jump?
Oh my god.
Are you step jumping over?
I can guarantee that everyone else's step jump doesn't involve a terrorist attack, but okay.
Feeling hurt in a relationship? Are you step jumping over what you gotta do in your business to make it successful?
She just said that after literally telling her story about escaping the World Trade Center. Is your skip jump gonna help you in your business? Yeah, we get it. That's what you're teaching people to do. You are absolutely making people believe that it is absolutely totally okay if you exploit national tragedy for your benefit. Holy, wow. Wow.
Are you step jumping over choosing you and a new possibility?
People died,
Are
ma'am.
you willing to make yourself a priority? If so, please stand up. And those...
Are you willing to make yourself a priority is literally her comparing herself to making her life a priority over other people's. Well, like that was a life-changing day. People lost their lives. Like, I understand putting yourself in front of other people when it's a life or death situation, okay? Like, I get it. I really do. And anyone who says, like, no, you need to help people, like, okay, yeah, I agree. But, like, if you're gonna die, it's like putting the oxygen masks on your face first when you're on an airplane and then helping other people after, you know? To me, that's how I look at it in a life or death situation like this. She is using this to be like, to compare it to putting yourself first to get to the top of a pyramid scheme. Like, what in the actual fuck? Yeah, I thought this conference couldn't get any worse after I was supposed to be an abortion. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, One of them said that. If you guys missed that one, yeah, that was something that one of these people said. She like gets on stage, she's all like dancing to like some like high upbeat music, and then the music stops and she goes, I was supposed to be an abortion. Whoa. Yeah, no. I don't know if I can think of a lower low than this. Using 9/11 to sell your pyramid scheme. Holy shit, man.
Please repeat after me. I'm ready.
I'm ready.
And type in chat, I'm ready. To step, jump.
I'm ready to escape the World Trade Center. What? That is what this comparison is. Like, I don't...
I'm Annabelle Quintero, speaker, advocate, coach, and you got it in you.
Wow. I'm ready to step, jump.
Wow.
What the fuck?
Wow. Are you seeing it? You got it in you. 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 And all I'm doing is giving you 100 examples of what yours could look like with your story. And then once you have learned some of those, it's always a layered process. There's a thing called symphony. Symphony is a technique at the bottom where you do it with someone else and you have a dance. Carefrontation is a beautiful, in-your-face, loving way. That's kind of my style. And then there's the pregnant pause, not being afraid to make your audience hold on for the rest. They've been doing it to you guys for the last 2 days. Total. You're like, give me more. And it's a strategy. Visual impact, scooping, super important technique. It makes the room feel like they fit in your story. And of course, I'm just introducing you to all of this. You'll learn it all later, but I want you to show what's available to you. What I love is if you only did 2 of these sales, 2 of these techniques, you're much better. You don't have to wait till you've mastered them all, even know them all. You can do 3. And you'll hear Marina, I didn't have time to teach.
Oh no, she's frozen. Dr. Hassan needs to enter the chat.
Your favorite, your first, the Valley. So this is the science and the art of speaking. And over the next 10 years, you will see it literally take over the speaking industry because I'm finally making it available and everyone's looking for structure and certainty. With these, it gives you certainty. It gives you the strength. Annabelle's not the same person that stepped on my campus, I think 3 years ago, because she got tools and she rides them. And then, of course, her book is called what?
No one knows.
Step, Jump, right?
Oh,
and so
come on.
Finding
really?
her story helped to birth her book. But I'm not going to tell you about that. She'll tell you about that later. And so you have no idea what happens when you come into all of it. And then when you play full out like this, all of a sudden you begin to become infectious, literally infectious to people.
I'm just changing the
and everyone wants you to
title
play.
of
I
the
want you to meet
stream.
someone else very special that I know you'll love.
It is 2010. Can you remember 2010? Let me give you a reminder. Yes. This was the time when Wake Up in the Morning Feeling Like P. Diddy was blasting from every radio.
Oh, no.
And I have to admit that I was kind of sitting on top of the world and feeling a bit like P. Diddy myself. I had just ended a 2-year stint as the youth ambassador for the Bahamas to the British Commonwealth. I traveled to over 10 countries to speak up and be a voice for women and youth, seeing the world the entire time. I was on year 2 of dating a guy that I rather liked to see. He was quite attractive, and we were having a great time engaging in phenomenal conversations and talking about taking over the world. And I had just been made the Chief of Staff External for the University of Miami student government. It was a pretty P. Diddy time, if I do say so myself. And then, do we have any procrastinators in the audience? I don't know if we do. Okay, I see a few that look like me. I know that you are really successful, so I wasn't sure if you'd be there. But if you've ever just not done something when you should have, we're in the same boat. And in 2010, I should have really been in class that October morning when I was in the library. You see, I had a 4,000 word paper due for Professor Frohawk at 4.
She said library. Does that bother anyone else when people say that? Like, I mean, I guess I don't want to, like, talk shit about the way people pronounce things, but, like, library? Stop.
Clock. And I was on word 400. So I'm typing. And I ain't typing anything that comes to mind. And then, all of a sudden,
trauma.
The screen goes black. But this isn't one of those, oh my goodness, I lost everything moments. The screen is black because my eyes are black. I can't see. I can't see anything. And I'm blinking and I keep blinking, but I can't see. So I start to feel. And I feel for my phone and I pick it up and I press that button that connects me to the guy I'd been seeing for 2 years. And I say to him, Angel, I can't see. Hello? Angel, I'm looking at the screen, but there's nothing there. I can't see. Star, I think you're trying to talk to me, but I don't understand anything you're saying. I want to put a pause in to say we've been married for 9 years now, and he still doesn't understand what I'm saying. Back to the story.
Was that supposed to be comic relief? Like, I'm pretty sure this woman is, like, telling a story about a time she, like, had a stroke. If he can't understand what she's saying. Or she's just, like, I don't know, just, hysterically crying or something, you couldn't understand her. But, like, she just, like, suddenly can't see. That's, like, spontaneous, like, retina detachment or something like that. Isn't that a thing? It sounds like a stroke. But then also, like, do you remember, if you guys were some of the people who watched Era's Girls back when we were doing that, Kathy had something like this happen. She just, like, randomly woke up and couldn't fucking see anything. And then for, like, 2 or 3 weeks, she had to just, like, sit in bed with Era and Erica. Like, I guess this is a thing that happens. And I told a story about a dog I used to groom who had the same thing happen. And he was straight up blind for, like, months. So I know this is a thing that happens, but, like, it's also weird that she, like, just put comic relief in there. She's like, he still doesn't understand what I'm saying. Anyway, I'm blind! Can we just, like, reel it in a little bit? Like, holy shit. Exactly, ha ha ha, men stupid, ha ha ha. What the fuck?
I'm telling you, I can't see. But what he heard was, Stop. Something is wrong. You need to get to the hospital right away.
Call 911!
By miracle of miracles, the light is coming back into the room. I can make out the blur of the screen. I grab my stuff, I pack it away, and with as much energy as I can muster, I make my way to the health center. From there, I'm rushed immediately to the hospital.
Oh wait, was she at school? Is that what she was saying? Because she was, like, typing something, so there were other people around to help her? Like, what in the fuck?
But I can see again. And I can speak again.
Congratulations.
So I asked the doctor that comes in to see me, do you think we'll be done by 4? Because I've got a 4,000 word paper. He looks at me and says, you're not going anywhere. You just had a stroke. Those 5 words changed me. That event was the motivation for the revelation of my elevation. That it is a gift to see, and it is a gift to speak. And so I say to you, MPW, are you using your gifts? Do you recognize the purpose that lies so deeply within you? And are you doing everything that's possible to show up, speak up, level up, and shine with a voice or the sight that could so easily be taken away? I want to leave 5 words with you. And I hope that this is the situation that leads to your elevation. When I say to you, you've got it in you. I'm your speaker advocate coach, Anastasia. I love you all. I'm so appreciative.
This person's like, oh my God, love this. She had a stroke. How could, what? Sorry for smacking the mic. What? I don't think that's a proper reaction to have to this story. Love this. She had some medical trauma, dude. Like she had a stroke. This is not something that you should be like applauding, like, yay, good job on not dying from a stroke. Like, what? And then she, again, more trauma dumping. She uses it, of course, to manipulate people, allegedly to join whatever MLM she's in. Yep. Not everything has to be spun into something positive. I guess not. And again, this is another situation where I'm like, by all means, like, tell your stroke story. Tell people, like, you know, maybe it'll raise awareness to, like, people, if people start, I don't know, losing vision or, you know, not being able to speak or whatever, they'll recognize, they're more able to recognize that and recognize that they're having a stroke or something. Like, this story, it's not that she shouldn't tell this story. It's the way and the reasons that she's telling the story. She's telling the story because she knows that it's going to benefit her in the long run, like financially. I mean, I guess it's her stroke. No one else was harmed except for her. But like, I mean, I guess you can do whatever you want with that story. But the issue here is that these people are all making it okay for people to use their trauma to build up their MLM business. Like, it's pretty messed up. It's actually like really gross.
Of being here with you, and I just hope that you continue to show up, speak up, and shine.
Sorry. Oh, here comes Lisa again. All right, girly, yeah.
Her first time taking a class with me, she couldn't talk. But not because her words were taken away, but because she was in tears, because she needed to heal, to give herself permission to be seen.
Thank you, Tanya, for reminding people. Please like the stream. Or like the stream.
So I want to give you a moment to put together your me, we, you.
Your pee poo.
I told you guys I'm a coach. There was a time when we have a tendency to, have you ever?
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't.
I just want you to,
my bad.
There was a time when we have a tendency to, have you ever? Those 3 sentences can immediately connect you to your audience. I want you to begin. We're not going to go into breakout rooms right now, but that is going to be some of your homework.
Carrie, that's a good one.
Yes, she's a coach, not an entertainer. Right? She's a coach, not an entertainer. I want you to, because if you can shape one, and don't just use one that you're not going to use somewhere. Use one that matters. Do your work right now that can really carry you in your next conversation. There was a time when I thought that wealth could never be experienced by someone who looked like me from my neighborhood. This is all true story. We have a tendency to judge our future based on our past if we don't have any evidence.
Sarah.
Have you ever discounted something that you knew you wanted, but you didn't know if you could have it just based on your gender or your nationality or your geographical origin? I just did it to you. I just did. That's all real, but I just made it up right then. Like, literally, it's such a great thing. I gave you the beginning of the sentence. You'd have to come up with the end, and it's a super simple process. And when you start doing it, you'll me, we, you, everybody. And they don't even know you're doing it. They're like, why do I feel so connected to you? It's like, oh, it's my superpower. It's kind of like my superpower that my coach just taught me. So you'll just keep doing it and doing it and doing it. I want you to type in chat, how are you feeling right now? I see all the fires that I see Mike putting fire in the chat. I see Karen putting fire in the chat. How are you guys feeling? Just kind of throw out some words and tell me how are you feeling. We covered a lot.
How about, I don't know, manipulated? I feel manipulated, yeah.
I love empowered. I hear empowered. But what else? Lighter. Inspired. Lighter. Like, look at what's come out of the last, 90 minutes or so, right? Or no, actually 50 minutes. It's just been 50 minutes, but
Did you guys see that? Someone wrote it in the chat. She's like, "How are you feeling?" And they wrote, "Motivated." Oh fuck, that's funny.
you've learned something. And notice how I'm dancing between content and feeling. Content and feeling. Raise your hand, your virtual hand, if you have, or put your name in chat and raise your hand in the room if you know you have a tendency to lean in one area too much. Either all emotion or all intellect. Just one or the other, doesn't matter, one or the other. You don't do the dance. So we have a structure that, for those of you who jump in, I'll teach you, where it says content, story, content, story, content, story. Stories aren't always long. It could be a short intermission, a short piece. It could be a short, just, my grandma says that when you get to the end of your life, and my grandmother just transitioned 2 years ago, and I'm gonna tell you, she had an amazing life. She said, when you get to the end of your life, and she knew she was in her transition, she knew she was in her last years. She said, baby girl, when you get to the end of your life like me, you're supposed to sit in your favorite rocking chair and tell anybody who would listen the story of your life. She said, but when you're your age, you're supposed to make sure that the story is gonna be good to tell. Right? So that right there, I'm doing it to you. What I'm teaching you, I'm doing it to you right now. You know that, right? So that right there was a little intermission, but it wasn't a full story, but it moves you back to your emotion. So you can have a little, like a sizzle, instead of the whole story. That took all of 45 seconds, maybe a minute. Does that make sense? So you have...
It's her, not me. Oh God.
Come
Lisa!
out,
Okay.
you have a great message. And I'm not saying stage, I'm saying one-on-one, I'm saying on the phone. This is not just stage, this is in your business, this is at your events. You have great content, and then you fizzle when you leave. You just kind of fall at the end. The end is so important to crescendo. Think of it as if you were at a concert, but you're on stage. And the last thing you say is the grand finale. So notice how they always play the favorite song last. Right? They don't go, so it was good to be with you, bye-bye. They actually leave with a bang. You want to think of that. And a bang doesn't have to be loud. It doesn't have to be long. It was that line that I just did with Grandma. The last thing I would say was, so make sure you write a great story. And then I'll leave. And it feels like a mic drop, right? But it's gentle and it's loving. Does that make sense? Does that make sense for you? Raise your hand. That makes sense. Kim, I see you nodding. Stacey, I see you nodding. Brenda, yes. Okay, Stephanie, okay, great. And know that you can fit your stories anywhere and everywhere. And you have so many undiscovered stories. They're incidents. Think of the incident, right? I'll close with one. So I was at an event, and I was behind the stage being introduced. And they were really building up the introduction. And the woman sitting in the audience, it was about 3,300 people, and this woman's in the audience and she's crying. Ooh, ooh, ooh. And I was like, what is going on? But I'll go back before. 20 years before, I'm working in the collection department. And there's a lot of things that should never happen.
That was a big rewind.
Me being in collections is one. On either side. And here I am collecting, which I should not be collecting because I'm broke. So you never let broke people collect, because every excuse that people gave me sound good, and I was gonna let them pass, and I was gonna write it down to use it for later. So I would call, and I say, hi, my name is Lisa, I'm calling on behalf of such and such, and you have $400 in arrears, and we need you to pay it. And I'd hear on the other side, well, I'm a mom, and my daughter's in school, and I didn't know I had to pay dorm fees. And I go, really? Girl, let me take your name off the list. So I was called in my...
Is she allowed to do that? Like, I feel like if that's your job, or, well, is a dorm mother a job? I don't know. She can't just, like, do that to everyone who gives her a sob story. Because then no one will pay their dues. They'll just, like, make shit up.
Supervisor's office. And my supervisor said, Lisa, I was 24 at the time. She goes, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I thought it was a test of my allegiance to the collection company. I said, I want to be a manager in this company. And I saw her kind of cringe like it was painful. I was like, what does that look like? She must have gas. And she said, well, here's the deal.
Oops.
You're
Sorry.
a sweet, sweet girl.
Tried to press the
And
fire
you know
button.
it's coming bad when
Press
it's
the
like,
end
it's
screen
not you,
instead.
it's me. You know, that's how it happens in relationships. But it felt like this was happening. She goes, you're a sweet girl, and everyone loves you. I said, thank you, because all I wanted to be was liked. I mean, everyone loves you. Thank you. I mean, our customers love you. Thank you. I mean, they refer people to you. Thank you.
This person in the
She goes,
chat's hungry.
That's not good in collections.
When will be lunch break?
They shouldn't
I'm very
love
hungry.
you. I was like, oh. She said, I give you a list of 110 people, and you give me back a list of 85. What's happening? With no money. I said, oh, don't worry about it. I'm doing you a favor. I first screen them to make sure they can't pay. And when I'm sure they can't pay, I delete them. For you. You're welcome. And she was like, she said, I need to release you to go find your dream and what you're good at. I said,
AKA you're fired,
do I clock in
bitch.
tomorrow and find it here? She said, no. And I was fired from my 5th job in my 20s, 5 jobs. And she was the 5th one. And it hit me hard. And I finally thought I found, this speaking thing. I got the courage to speak. Fast forward 20 years. I'm behind stage, and they're introducing me, and this woman is bawling on the front row. And I'm like, I make people cry, but I kind of got to get started first. So then I walk out, and I'm speaking, and this woman from moment one, she crying. I'm like, okay, is she feeling this? Right? So then I go out, and I'm signing autographs. There are about 288 people in the line. I sign, and I take a picture. Sign, take a picture. Smile's always ready. Sign, take a picture. And I noticed the woman over there, the same chick, crying. She off to the side. So about 70 people in, I go, excuse me, you guys, can I come back to you? I walk over to her and I said, excuse me, ma'am.
That's what I was thinking.
You've been
Diane.
crying for the last 2 hours. I said, why are you crying so much? She said, because I released you to go find your dream and what you're good at, and you found it. She was the woman who fired me 20 years before.
There you go.
And so
Called it.
everything's not going to be in your time, but it will be in the right time. So I want to invite back to the stage my beautiful sister friend, Miss Marina Warray, to help us to spotlight some successes.
Who run the world? Squirrels. Yeah, who run the world? Squirrels. Who run this mother? Squirrels. Who run this mother? Squirrels of nuts. Yeah. This is taking too long. I can't come up with other shit. Quit dancing. Marina. Did she change clothes? Yeah, she was wearing like a long pink skirt before, and now she's not. Like, why do you have to... Okay, I'm sorry. Why do you have to change your clothes so much? Chill out.
Hold on. It only takes a minute.
What am I doing? Okay. That is so loud. Oh my god. Stop. Are they ever gonna stop? Okay, we get it, dude. We get it. They're still going. Okay. Who run the world? Squirrels. She was now married to Elon Musk. Wait, who? I know you're probably joking.
Right. Entertainment on a dime. Anytime.
Yeah, next time when we need to set up chairs, I'm gonna call you.
Yeah, come up front.
Oh, come on! Stop!
Which places with you?
Yes.
I want to sit over there.
Yes.
I want to make sure that everybody
Right.
has their hair.
She helps my hair so I can swing it outward and
Right?
not hit anybody.
So we want to invite to the stage our amazing panelists, and we call this panel a success panel because people who are going to be part of this panel, they're making 7 figures, And I wanted to make sure that, you heard from the rising stars. I need to work out more, maybe.
I'll pause. I'll pause for a minute. And the reality is that success leaves clues. And some of your biggest breakthroughs come to listen to someone else's story and finding evidence. I'm a real big person on evidence. Show me someone else who can do it that reminds me of myself, something turns on in me. And the law,
But she believes in
the
God,
law,
though.
the court of law, everything is reliant on evidence. So when there's
Really? Because you literally just told a story about how God told you have to buy a Tonka truck. I only fuck with shit that relies on evidence, except for God. No. Her anecdotal evidence is good enough, right? No. Okay.
evidence, you can't deny that it's possible. You got your breath?
Yes.
Okay, go.
And I was just kind of I just wanted you to speak, so I just found my excuse. So I want to invite to this stage rock stars who are building this business, who wants to share their great insights, great strategies with all of you. So let me help me welcome to the stage Sarah Zalaki, Bring Lang, Bree Richardson, and Anita Sejuru.
We don't need music every freaking time. So is this gonna be another Q&A thing? I kind of don't like these. I like their trauma. Well, I mean, I say I like it, but I think it's more entertaining when they're telling their little stories and doing their slam poetry and stuff. I couldn't really care less about these women standing on a stage and dancing. What? Who cares about this? Seriously. Come on.
Hey, it's a girl party!
Yay!
Slumber party!
Fun.
What I love about fully actualized women, is that when you become fully actualized in yourself and solid, then one of your favorite things to do is to lift up other women, to lift up other young men, to lift up other people. That's such a fun place to be. And
she's frozen. Man.
That there's someone virtually in their home, but they're right here on the stage with you and they want you to be right there in their home with them. And there's someone here that says, wow, I need to hear this. And so everything that you share it for the sake of elevating her to a stratosphere that's unrecognizable. Let's go for that. Does that sound good? Let's just go for that.
All right, so I'll let you ask the first question.
I never knew what fully actualized meant either, really.
Tell me,
oops, did I pause that? Yeah. Okay.
What did it take for you what was a deciding factor for you to give yourself permission? You don't just arrive at 7 figures. You don't just arrive at an international brand. You don't just
arrive
what they
sell
at a whole organization. So let's just first go inward, because some of our sisters are going, what's the mindset? So we won't talk about the doing yet. What was the turning point? And before we shine a light on that, kind of tell me what you have to overcome. What was that belief system that still sometimes creeps in, right? Still sometimes.
It keeps freezing.
How did you begin to say, let me turn the corner? And Tanya, if we can put the names back up. Thanks. All right. So,
Sarah, let's go
yes,
first.
Sarah.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Hi. Okay. I think for me, one of the biggest turning points was being okay in my real skin. You know what I mean? Being okay with showing up quirky and weird, and I don't necessarily have the best grammar, and being okay with that. I think for a long time I struggled in my business because I tried to be somebody that I wasn't.
Okay, so you're not quirky and weird. If you're not quirky and weird, why would you think that you need to be that in basically any situation? Because usually as quirky and weird people are the ones that are ostracized. Don't you want to be I don't know, she's a blonde lady, don't you just want to be a successful businesswoman and not show up with I don't know, space buns and a bright pink t-shirt and I don't know, quirky and weird? Why would you, That's usually the opposite of what they tell you to do. Actually, no. At this point, somewhere in this conference, they were saying, like, don't dull your shine. It's almost like she was trying to shine herself up.
And I would try to emanate all these people, and there was such a disconnect between the relationships that I was building. And I remember a quote that someone gave me a long time ago. They said, you can be impressive, but not likable. And that's what was happening inside of my business is I was struggling so much. And once I just finally said, Sarah, like, you have to be able to answer the question, are you okay with you? And when I could fully answer yes, then everything changed in my business. And so I think that was probably the biggest thing for me is just being comfortable in my own skin and being okay with me.
Yummy. Will you answer?
Brent?
So first off, I just have to say, oh my gosh, I'm like fangirling up here. Hello. You guys are amazing.
Now that's the quirky and weird one. But hey, you're just as successful as that other lady who wasn't naturally quirky and weird. I'm confused.
Love it. I love it.
Gosh, like,
She's like, hold on, I'll give it a minute.
Yeah. This is like a dream come true for me. Like, I got the email. Yeah.
Come on.
That's how I feel.
Yeah, you're so excited. Okay, we get it. Stop.
That for me, the biggest thing has been realizing that the story that somebody else gave me doesn't have to be the story that I choose to live out. And I've loved this whole, everything that you have done this entire, last 2 days
Porky
because
Spice.
it just really made me realize that because I lived the story that somebody else gave me, that somebody told me about me for so long. And for me, it all came to a head when my husband, who almost left me 7 years into our marriage because of what somebody did to me, being sexually abused my entire life by my stepfather. Trauma. It was very hard for me to be intimate as a wife and to trust a man. And I remember the day that my husband told me he was gonna leave me if I didn't get my crap together. And he literally said to me, how long are you going to let your past affect your future?
Okay, but like...
And so I have lived on that and I have breathed.
Like, I understand, like, if you're not happy in a marriage or whatever, but, like, the other thing about marriage is that, like, in sickness and in health, right? That dude sounds like a douchebag. You went through trauma and he was about to dump you for it because you weren't getting your shit together. It's like, fuck you, sir. Sorry, fuck you, sir. Excuse me, sir, fuck you. She is your wife. Be supportive. Be patient. Be kind. She probably needs that from you right now. What a dick!
It's through that in every minute of building a business because in every moment that I find myself caught up in a moment where I start to question myself because let's be for real, y'all be questioning yourselves a lot, right? So do I. We all do. I always go back to that moment. I will not live somebody else's story. I am going to live mine, and I get to create the story that I have moving forward, and so do you.
Okay, Brent, before we go further, how many of you raise one hand, two hands, if you can relate to that, going, wait a minute, raise your hand on screen. I want to see the hands up. Okay, Karen, I see the hands in the room. Like, wait a minute, let me make sure the story I'm living out, Stacy, I see you waving, Michelle, make sure the story I'm living out is actually written by me. The last thing you want to do is get to the end of your story and it says author by. And it's
also,
not your
yes,
name.
Thank you for reminding people
That's
to like
powerful.
the stream. Please do if you haven't.
So this last day and a half has been like feeding your confirmation, serving you.
Yeah, I'm just like, I'm not worthy, but I am worthy. Shoot. I am like, yes, it has been amazing. Y'all agree with that?
Yeah, it's been, so tell me your answer.
So for me, it was more so of letting those who came before me be my inspiration for my permission to myself. Okay. It was kind of one of those things and it's something that I found within me that, wait, she can do that? Because let's just be real, growing up, when people would talk about network marketing or that thing, we've all heard it, right? But I was still watching and it was like, you have to go get a real job. You do this, you do that. But I kept watching people succeed. I mean, this was from, high school and the college years, watching people succeed and living the life that I wanted to live. And I would always just say, why not me?
Why not me?
Why not me? And so for me, it was the inspiration of others that came before me. And that's why I'm so passionate to be here right now doing this for you so that you can look at us and go, why not me? And come hell or high water, I'm going to go get it.
So you had, you grabbed the examples, even if they weren't personal friends, or like you looked for evidence everywhere that it was your birthright.
That's right.
And that's what we started with yesterday. It's my birthright. Like, it's my birthright. If not her, why not me? And that's a great question. We normally mess up the question because instead of saying, why not me, we say, why me? Wrong question, and you don't want the answer. I love it. Danita?
At the time, I no longer trusted myself. I didn't trust myself with love. I didn't trust myself with money. I just had gone through a very difficult divorce, and I lost hope. And the turning point for me is when I walked on your campus. And
Yeah, my cats don't like popcorn either.
at the time, I was selling steaks at grocery stores and serving wine. Would you like Chardonnay or Merlot?
What a hard
And
life.
trying to make ends meet while a pre-foreclosure notice was sitting on my kitchen counter. And so I had lost complete trust in my ability to produce, to connect, and to lead.
Real talk. One hand up. Two. I love how you just threw your hand in the air because you can relate. How many of you were at a point where you made some errors, some mistakes, or life happened and threw you something and made you question your own decisions, your own faith in self, your own, and you knew it's now or never. Like, I see some of the tears inside the virtual community. It's now or never.
People
I'm
are
all
already
in.
crying?
And that was after, and by the way, we make the mistake of thinking that when you're up, everything is amazing always after that. Right. So this was after you had amazing success.
Yes. This is after being a top 2% producer in a network marketing.
That's not really like that successful though, because like even if you're in the top 2%, you might not be even making like 4 figures a month. JE, I know I just saw this, so anyone else who's new to the stream, this is not a specific MLM. This is the most powerful women in network marketing conference. So they're all in different MLMs. Oh, hello, Pippi. Yeah, it's kind of a general girl boss conference. Everybody is encouraging each other to use your trauma to recruit people to your downline. That's pretty much the point of this whole thing.
Company, earning several cars and all of that. So I had the success, and then I crashed, and then I lost complete trust.
Anybody know what we're talking about? And the reason why we're going to these places is so you see evidence in every part of your life. Not just evidence in the high, but evidence in the low and in the get back up.
You need evidence to prove to yourself that sometimes people go through trauma. I think that's obvious, right? Like, not everyone's life is perfect every day, you know?
Yeah, and to stay on this conversation, because a lot of people think that, like, oh, just because you're at the top, your life is easy. Just because you're successful, you don't make mistakes. Just because you are up there in the top income earner, everybody's just running to you. You don't really have to work hard or anything like this. So first of all, because we did not really do the proper introductions of you ladies, so I would like you introduce yourself, tell, I don't want to kind of like put anybody in a position of like asking how much money you make, but like everybody knows that you're all 7-figure earners, and just tell us what is the size of your organization.
Is that per year or over the course
just to
of
kind of
their
like for
entire
everybody
network
to
marketing?
comprehend the magnitude. It's just not money, right? But the lives that you are impacting through your distributors and your customers. But also tell us, like, what was the biggest mistake in your opinion that you made throughout your career?
This is the
And what was the
conference.
biggest lesson that came out of that?
Okay. Sarah Zalecki. I actually build a business with my husband. So for those of you that are wanting to potentially build, I've been building with my husband for 17 years now.
So is this like, why is she here? Why is she the one speaking on the stage? They're like, yeah, let's get some 7-figure earners here on the stage. And she's like, oh, I earned my 7 figures through the help of a man. Welcome to the world's most powerful women The Most Powerful Women Conference. I made my riches by collaborating with a man. Why are you here?
And been in the profession 25 years. I was a nanny before I got started in this business. I had been with my prior company, or my company right now, for 10 years. My business did over 200.
Oh no, don't cut out while she's bragging.
Just everything that I am, I owe to the profession.
Oh, jeez.
And what was the biggest mistake that you made and the biggest lesson that came out of that?
She don't even know.
Or something that you considered a failure or something.
What's the biggest lesson you learned in the past 20 years in network marketing? She's like, I don't know. Probably because like all of the lessons she learned probably has to do with like putting me first, being selfish essentially. And she doesn't want to admit that because it'd make her sound like a shitty person.
Something that you considered, like, because what I want to show to everybody
quiet.
is like, everybody thinks
Sorry.
that we don't have tough times. What was the tough time? Or what was
Had
the
my mic
challenge?
pushed
What was
away
the
'cause I'm
mistake?
eating
What was
popcorn.
something that you had to overcome in your journey? What was the belief?
All right, so you guys want real talk?
Real talk.
Yes, please.
Okay, so here's real talk. So 14 days ago, one of my closest friends in the business and also family members passed away. And so 14 days ago today,
So you recruited your family. Okay, cute.
we celebrated her life. And she was actually my sister-in-law. And so my
recruited
brother,
your
sister, so
sister-in-law.
we're going through a rough time right now. So for those of you that are hurting right now and you're grieving, like I feel you, like I'm sitting on this stage and I know that I need to be happy and be excited, but I gotta tell you, I'm sad. Like I'm really sad. Like I'm really fighting right now, you know?
no.
But I think the beautiful thing is that, you know what? I love the Tonka truck thing because it's all about like, hey, you know what? It's hard. And you know what? And I can do hard things, right? Like that's what we're wired for.
Exactly, clown
And so
town.
I think it's just, you know, the beautiful thing of having this community of women that we can be connected with. And I want to share with you guys, like if you're not connected, like all these breakout rooms, it's so incredible. Like build those friendships because, you know, those are the things that are going to help you like keep on moving, right? And keep on going through those tough times. And so I think for me, it's that overcoming, right? And doing that personal development for me is like, that's the reason I'm actually sitting here today. I reevaluated, like, should I even come to this event? Should I even be here? Like, can I actually even get through this? And I just remember this very, very pivotal thing that Lisa shared yesterday. I don't know if you guys caught this, is she said, you know what? She said, stand on your story, not in your story. And so today, that's the reason that I'm up here is because I'm standing on my story.
Come on, sis.
I love it. And thanks for sharing.
That didn't mean anything substantial at all.
Hello, everybody. My name is Bryn Lang. I have been in the industry since 2014, and I said I would never, ever, ever become an entrepreneur. My family, we owned restaurants growing up, and I can't remember who it was, the chick this morning from Venezuela. She was amazing, but talking about how they had gone from brick and mortar into network marketing, and my family went through a really bad bankruptcy when I was a teenager, and those are like the formative years when like you care what everybody thinks, right? And I remember we had like all the things, the boats and the cars and the.
You had all of those things and your family went through bankruptcy. It sounds like they weren't responsible. Sounds like they were financially just like all willy-nilly throwing shit around to look like the Dinkelbergs, you know what I mean? When truly they couldn't afford any of it. How cute.
Nice house, and then we're like bankrupt. And it's like, all that's gone, and we're living in this house with the cottage cheese ceiling and the brown carpet, and I'm like, nope.
Are you talking about popcorn ceiling? Because fuck you, I have popcorn ceiling in my house. And I don't feel like I live in some dump. Come on.
Nobody is allowed to come to my house. I will never, ever, ever be an entrepreneur. I need something safe. I need something secure. Like, no. And then I married my husband, who is a restaurateur. And
So she married a rich guy too. She married an entrepreneur. Silly how these past two ladies have had the help of a man to get them financially stable. Why are they here? Why are they telling their stories? Basically, this is what I'm learning from this panel here. Either marry a rich guy or recruit your husband so that he can help you become rich. Depend on the work of a man. That's not very empowering towards women. This is the most powerful women of network marketing, and you're going to tell me that they all got rich because of a guy. Whoa.
He always was like, you should be an entrepreneur, right? You think like that. I'm like, no, bro. No. I know what you have to do. I know how long you got to be there every day and keep the lights on and pay all the employees. Like, I don't want anything to do with that. But the right person said the right thing to me on the right day at the right time, right? And I decided to join network marketing. And let's just be 100. I sucked. I sucked really bad.
Yeah,
and
Marina
my
Ward, too,
upline
you're
sucked,
right.
and their upline sucked, and I had no idea what I was doing, and we all started suck, right? How many of y'all started
She's
at
so
suck?
quirky.
Don't even lie. Some of y'all still feel like you suck, right? We there, okay? So for me, I think that one of the biggest things that, you know, I've had to learn and overcome over time, and I think that one of the most important things that we can learn is that we do all start at suck. Okay, like I remember when I first started doing yoga, and I remember the first day I walked in there, and these ladies, they were standing up on their head, and I'm like, I'm gonna stand on my head today, because if they're standing on their head, I'm gonna do it too. And I was falling all over the place, and I got home, and I was so mad.
Do you have to stand on your head in yoga? Like, I've done plenty of yoga, and I don't think I've ever seen anyone just, like, stand on their head. What kind of yoga class are you going to?
And I went up to my husband, I was like, I cannot believe that I could not stand on my head today. And he's like, that's your ego. He said, how do you think you're gonna walk in there on the first day and be just as good as everybody else in that room? That's your ego, and you need to get rid of it. So I think the biggest lesson that I've learned is starting at suck is where we all start. Being okay with that. You just gotta suck until you suck less.
Sarah.
I love it.
That's naughty.
I love you.
Yes. So I'm Brie Richardson. I've been in the network marketing space full-time for about 11 years. Built organizations of over 600,000, doing upwards of 20 million in a month. I love this profession, but yeah, I started at suck too. And you know, the question about like what was your biggest like mistake in the business? And I feel like over the years I've failed my way through it. And so
Say that again.
I failed my way through it.
If you aren't failing, then the network marketing business structure is not working. Because like in order for it to work for the top 1%, the bottom 99% have to fail. So yeah, go figure, you were failing your way to the top.
My way to success. I'm still failing my way because I'm not done yet, right? So more lessons to learn. I kind of love I love what you say when you say like we don't even realize who we're becoming. Yeah. And no matter where we're at now, like I just took that to heart and I sunk that in, and I'm like, that's really exciting.
Yeah, it's super exciting.
Dang,
Yep,
I can't
she
wait
sucked
to
her
find
way to
out
the
who
top.
she'll be, right? So for me, I kind of just will go through from the beginning. The faults were, one, I tried to sell everything. I thought that if I was in all the companies selling all the things and people were buying, then that was what was going to make me rich, right? Learned that lesson probably the quickest. Second thing that I did really sucky was I tried to do it by myself. I had no idea what network marketing was, but I just kept like trying to figure it out by
did
watching
you recruit a man?
instead of getting in and learning. And so when I learned not my company structure or my company products, but the structure of network marketing as a whole, my world changed. And I went from really, really sucky to really, really extraordinary. And so that was kind of my process through it. And then the third thing I will say as you get into kind of leadership, where I failed really big when I started to step into that, was becoming the manager.
Yeah.
And not the leader.
Manager of people.
And what happened then was I saw that because I wasn't doing the do, started to slide this way. And so that's kind of some of my biggest tips when I start to see that coming out of people, because it is a transition from being a distributor into a leader, right? But sometimes it's a slippery slope. You just have to be very careful as you're working your way through. But like you said, give yourself permission to fail, but don't stay there, learn from it, get back up and do better.
I love it.
I love it.
Okay, none of that made any sense.
I'll speak from an entrepreneurial standpoint. Is I think I transitioned too quick into entrepreneurship from the excitement. and the bottom dropped out. Yeah, the bottom dropped.
Okay, but this whole entire conference is basically convincing people like they're gonna leave being so excited to implement all of this shit that they learned, how to tell their story and how to spill their trauma all over the place. They're all gonna do that. Sorry, I'm like all sniffy. I think my allergies are being stupid. And she's just like, I think I just transitioned too fast. I was too excited. It's like, you guys are doing that to people right now. Seriously.
Dropped out talking about income. And I think the lesson I learned is that not to put desperation pressure on a brand new business. Because you will subconsciously take yourself right out of business. And so that's what I did. And hence the selling the steaks and the keeping the mortgage and the balancing act of creating income so that I can keep my entrepreneurial passion pure with excitement and joy. So that's what I learned. My biggest lesson in transitioning into an entrepreneur is to protect your passion, figure out how you're gonna pay the bills until you can transition full time.
Yeah, I think this is, Danita, is probably one of the biggest advice for everybody who is starting network marketing and thinking like, because we are so used to having a security of the job, right? Because that 9 to 5, it doesn't matter that it's miserable, it doesn't matter that you hate the people, but we're buying into that security that there is every month, at the end of the month, there is a check coming in. And we think that just because we joined the profession, just because now we call ourselves entrepreneur, now I'm super cool, and now I know all the answers, now I know how to build a business, and now jumping off the cliff sometimes, and a little bit too early, and not having the opportunity to protect your dream.
I don't know if there's ever really a good time to jump off a cliff, unless you're like attached to a bungee cord. But like in general, like, she's like, I jumped off the cliff too soon. I don't think you should ever jump off a cliff.
Protect your goal, and because you have the pressure of the bills, the pressure of how I'm gonna feed myself and my family tomorrow, we give up way too early on our passion. So those of you, because if you remember the numbers that I showed yesterday, there's 500,000 people who are doing the business in the United States, who is doing this business full-time, but there is 6.8 million people doing it part-time. And give yourself time to transition. Don't feel the pressure that you still have to take it seriously. You still can work as many hours as you possibly can to get to your dream a little bit faster, but still keep that thing going until you're ready to transition. You want to add something?
Yes. Yeah. So here's the thing. People always think that the people that are...
Oh no, they're freezing. Does anyone else like get the ick by them calling this a transition?
All of you that are part-time, you have a much better story than we have.
Yes.
You know why? Because everybody can relate to part-time. People can't relate to me. You know what I mean? People can't relate to a lot of us, right? A lot of the leaders and a lot of the leaders on virtual. So be proud that you're part-time, right? So be proud. Like I would tell you, stay part-time as long as you can. Make that money, stash that cash, get out of debt. You know what I mean? Like,
but aren't you supposed to be like? Isn't that the whole point of this? Is like teaching people how to do that with network marketing instead of their 9 to 5? Like, isn't that the point? And she's just like, no, stay in your jobs as long as you can. Only do this part-time as long as you can. Ma'am, you're a 7-figure earner. I'm pretty sure you were able to get out of debt and all that shit. And it's funny to hear them say that, like, oh no, we're not relatable. We're too rich to be relatable. It's wild. It's so wild. Like, Marina Worry is the most unrelatable person I think I've ever heard speak. And all of these women are just, like, backing her up on that.
That's the biggest thing that I would share with you is, like, people always ask, when should I transition? I'm like, dude, stay part-time as long as you possibly can. Because there's something about, like, when you're in that position of desperation, people can smell it. How many of you guys ever built out of desperation? You're like, why is that all the no's? Why is everyone disappearing? Why is everyone ghosting me, right? Because they can smell you, right? Versus when you can...
Take a shower. They can smell you. You're too stinky.
And come from this place that it's almost like a I don't care place, I guess. I don't know if that's okay to say, right?
Hashtag Sarah, that's the same about dating. Don't be desperate.
Right.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Different subject.
Hashtag indifferent. When
Oh,
you
is
can
this
show up
dating advice
indifferent.
now?
So I would just tell you, so embrace your part-time story and run with it. It's amazing because everyone can relate to you.
So the theme and where we're sitting at inside of this conference is about owning your story. And I want to ask you a little bit about if there was ever a struggle in articulating in such a way that you attracted people. And then what was the turning point when you got the language cleaner, straighter, more powerful? Because language is the doorway. The distance between you and everything you want is your language. It's just, whether it's business or personal, it's our language. And our mindset creates our language, but then it's the language.
Janet, I agree with you.
Can we speak for a moment about how was it when you couldn't get it out clearly? How many of us, by show of hands, you have a hard time getting it clearly online? You have a hard time, whether it's your emotions, your feelings, your opportunities, just what was going on in my head sounded a whole lot better than I'm so much more charismatic in my head. Anybody have that experience?
Can I raise legs for that one?
Yeah. You can put
Okay.
your hand up on that too.
Hands and legs, both.
Because it's real. That's real. So
Keep your legs
I just
down,
want to
please.
and if you don't have anything about it, that's great. But that struggle with the language, and then did something turn when the language turned? Are you still turning it? Are you still in that space? So why don't we go this way?
Beautiful. So mine wasn't the language, it was the visibility. I couldn't even think about the language. I remember doing my first video, and it was in a private Facebook group. I cleaned my entire house plus the curtains before I hit record. And when I hit record, it was about 10 p.m. The room was dark. My arms were crossed. My hair was a mess, but what I said was powerful. So then I posted it. And that wasn't too long ago, friends. That was maybe 5 years ago. And and so now that I can do the oration of speaking, I wish I had it when I was in direct sales. Even though I was a powerful
so she's
leader,
not anymore?
I wish I had the way.
So she's making a lot more money out of direct sales being a motivational speaker than she was when she was in the industry, probably. That's probably why she quit. That's probably why most of these people quit. A lot of these people, I guarantee actually all of these people who are up here who are no longer in network marketing left because they weren't making enough money in network marketing, and they saw that there was a bigger opportunity to make money by trying to teach people how to be successful in network marketing than actually being successful in network marketing. Isn't that wild? It's like if you were making so much money in network marketing, if you were so successful at it, then why'd you leave? Makes no sense.
To scoop the room and connect with more people and to influence leaders through my stories. I had one story that I repeated. Any of you repeat it over and over and over again at the same event or the same, and I wanted to vary that, and I didn't have that
I gotta turn on my
skill set
AC. It's
yet.
getting hot up here.
So for me, even in what I do now, even
we
if I'm
good.
speaking to teens or doing
I have a portable
podcasts or
unit.
interviews,
I do have to turn this up, though.
my bar is, even if I use 2 techniques, is way off any other speaker in the room, and I get invited back over and over and over again.
Yummy, yummy, yummy.
Did you say yummy?
3.
So for me, there's 2 different things. So a lot of what I do building on social media and what I see a lot of people do that mimicked what I used to do was I was showing up differently than I would in person. And if you think about it, that actually doesn't make any sense. So I always teach people, like, when you're gonna talk to someone on social media, act if they're standing in front of you. Never would I walk up to you and be like, hey, haven't seen you in a while, so I'm doing this thing that happened, and yesterday I did this. You have an actual conversation like a human.
Okay, so now they're saying no cold messaging, where I think one of the first 1 or 2 videos that I reacted to from this conference, one of the people was like, someone was like, cold messaging doesn't work, and then the next person was like, let me teach you how to cold message, and now this girl's here is being like, yeah, actually, you need to have like actual conversations, don't cold message people. Can this conference get their shit together, please?
And so sometimes we overthink that. We're waiting for the script, so the right secret sauce and all of this. And you
not
just
the
got to get
secret
out of your
sauce.
head and into your heart, right? Be an actual human and have a volley back and forth conversation. If that person was standing in front of you, have a conversation online in the same manner that you would. And then the other part too, again,
That's
just getting
true,
out
Val.
of your head and into your heart.
I'm
is,
assuming it's Val.
I
Could
don't
be
really
Gus.
do a lot of script things. Even when I do massive speeches and those types of things, what comes easiest to me is just from personal experience and what truly I have actually done. And that's what people need to hear from you. It's as simple as telling your story of why the heck you were attracted to the products that you're taking. Why the heck you said yes to your opportunity. What was wrong before that, and what are you fixing through it? It's those simple things that I think a lot of people overthink, and that overthinking, you get into your head, and then you're,
Yeah,
and
they're
and you
all
just wanna be
contradicting each
perfect.
other all the time.
Nobody's perfect, and the greatest thing is the person you're talking to doesn't know if you are or you aren't anyway, because it's the first time they've heard about it anyway. So just go through your experiences through your conversations.
I love it. I want to make sure you guys are taking away, because I love to find nuggets in conversations. In Danita's piece, it was give yourself permission to be seen. Who needs to hear that? One hand up, two hands up if you know that you want to be successful, kind of hiding out, sort of, right? And then to Bree's point is to move from having a monologue, talking at someone, to having a dialogue.
We already talked
Be
about
an
this.
actual relationship. Relay, 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 relationship is a relay.
Oh,
And I also want to add to this as well, because we're trying to be perfect, you know, like I'm sure you prepared the whole house, right? So it looks really good on camera. That's why you're washing curtains and
It
everything.
was actually procrastination, so I didn't have to do the assignment.
It's another issue.
Yeah, it's a whole nother conversation.
But I think that especially as women, we feel like, oh, I need to get my hair done. And I'm still catching myself at this. It's like, Eric is like, oh, let's go do a video. I was like, no, baby, I cannot do a video. I don't have a makeup. I don't have my hair done. I was like, let's schedule all the videos on that day when I wash my hair, right? When I put the makeup on and draw the face of a prettier woman, right? And that's when I'm gonna get on camera. And okay, and what I'm gonna wear. We spend so much time on things that don't matter. Because at the end of the day, people want to see you the way you are. They want to relate to you, because when you are so perfect, there is no way I can do this.
Take your own advice, Marina. Like, you've changed your outfit like 30 times today. You're out here like being like, look how much designer clothes I own. I can change my outfit multiple times during the same conference. Ooh, look at me, I'm Marina Warrior. I'm extremely relatable. No, you're not, ma'am. Look at me, I married a thumb of a man, and he's very rich, and he pays for all my things. I'm very relatable. No, Marina, stop. Don't tell people to be relatable. Like, she literally, when she had her last, like, little speech, she was talking about how grateful she is for her $20 million house and her multi-million-dollar studio, and just, yeah, no. They have their own jet. She was talking about having her own jet. Oh, but you have to be relatable, huh? Yeah, there's lots of people in America who own their own jet planes. Like, what the fuck?
It's too much. This is too perfect. This is too, I will never be like her. And in everybody's head, it's like, okay, if I can never be like her, that means that I can never be successful, that I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not going to achieve what I want to achieve, because I will never be able to do this, or I will never be able to look like this, and things like that. So understanding that just be you, because there is a huge audience that is looking for you specifically. With your quirkiness, with your beautiful hair or messy hair, with your makeup, perfect makeup, or your teary eyes. It doesn't matter, because we are in different stages of our lives, and most of the time, each of us in particular stage of somebody else's life, the moment that they're going through. So be yourself and show different parts of it. I cannot tell you, Eric is the same way. And of course, it's easier for him for his haircut, but I cannot tell you how many times he would put on a suit, and underneath there are shorts, and then there are flip-flops. And because we're filming waist up, nobody sees that, right? He's sitting in front of the green screen or behind the table or whatever. Once in a while, I pan it out and show what looks like under there, right?
Wow, so
and you
relatable. Eric Worre wears shorts and flip-flops sometimes. So relatable.
Not imagine how many more times this kind of a video went viral. Because people wanted to see this. It's like, because once they see us all perfect up, it's like, it's too much. I can't do this. Oh, he's human. You cannot imagine the comments, everything, the rawness. Oh, you're just like me. You're just a normal guy. He's like, yeah, I've been trying to tell everybody I'm a normal guy. I was like,
Eric Worre is not a normal guy. He's like, is he a billionaire or just a multimillionaire? Probably a multimillionaire. Coming up on billionaire, though. I mean, if he owns his own private jet, he's got to be pretty close. Let me see what his net worth is. Worre net worth. Oh, millions.com says he has an approximate net worth of $40 million. That's it? I don't think so. 2023 estimates suggest that Eric Worre's net worth is around $30 million. Did he lose $10 million between these two? I don't know. Okay, I guess he's not a billionaire. That's actually a lot less money than I thought he made. Considering that, like, they built this giant studio and shit.
Eric, it took them to see your slippers and your shorts and my slippers and my shorts when I'm doing a video to understand we're just like you. We're totally normal. We have our own insecurities. We have our own challenges and our own demons that we're battling every day.
Nobody wants to see Eric Worre from the waist down. I can guarantee it. Except maybe Marina. But even in that case, I don't think she married him for what's below the waist. You know what I mean?
So when you show
she married him for
yourself,
well, if he's carrying his wallet in his butt pocket, then yeah, then I guess never mind. I take it back. Then that's totally why she married him.
Be the best version of yourself, but show authentically who you are. More people are gonna relate, and much faster you'll be able to build your tribe.
And Marina, there's a point where they
She said
say
tribe again. Oh my
imperfection connects and perfection disconnects. So that's a real powerful statement. So if you're imperfect and more human, you're more relatable to the world versus perfection.
Bryn, I want to ask you, what is something as a leader? You guys already planned a really big game. There's more to come. Just getting started. When you look at what you still need to do, like we're covering a lot of stuff here, and we want to learn. I love brilliant people, and I love to sit next to them because I love to.
She's paused again.
Because I am a phenomenal student.
Hey, Monica, I am not the one who said
that one right there.
the thing about Eric Worre from the waist down first.
What is it from a student perspective as a leader that you're going?
I blame chat.
I can grow in that area. So what are you looking at right now, based on some of the things we may have covered, or other things that you're like, this is my area of opportunity for growth, and I'm excited about it?
Yeah, the conversation that we're having right now, like how many of you are like, oh my gosh, I struggle with wanting or feeling like I need to be perfect before I do anything, right? Like we see this a lot in our organizations. You know, we bring people in and they got to do all the training, right? They're like going this is scroll hole, right? Every training, watching it over and over and over again.
So my friend group has been texting me they want to go out and play Pokemon Go, even though it's like 95 degrees outside today. So I'm going to cut this short at about it's 2:37 right now. At 2:45, it says that Clown Town is going live. I don't know if they're still in here, but they're scheduled to go live at 2:45. So in about less than 10 minutes, we'll end it here. Cause there's still another 2 hours and 10 minutes to this part 2 of this video. So, but yeah, I'll redirect to Clown Town as soon as they go live, which will be very shortly.
They're not taking any action. And so I find that the biggest reason for that is the fear of failure, the fear of what other people think. And I just think that this conversation that we're having
I know,
is
SK with
so important, because I
don't know how to say your name, but I know, I'm just giving you shit.
With it. I still struggle with seeing myself a different way than other people see me, right? I remember being told that if I wanted to be successful, I did need to show up and be visible. And I had always learned to hide myself. That same stepdad that sexually abused me my whole life also constantly belittled me and told me that if I wasn't
trauma, not drama.
If I wasn't,
I guess kind of both, huh?
Perfect at everything I did, then it wasn't good enough. I wasn't worthy. I wasn't lovable. And so it took a lot of years to unpack that and still unpacking that, right? I remember just starting network marketing and being told I needed to show up on video. And I was like, I gotta let people see me. All I can see in the video are my really small shoulders and my really big hips, because that's what was told to me by somebody else, right? So I decided, and this is something I still work on every single day, to just show up messy. And it's become my superpower. It is why people love me, because I'm a mess and I show up this way every day. I remember the first live video I did, y'all, that the light, it was like a desk lamp. And it was like bright yellow and it was like shining like right in my face.
Okay, so I'll try to remember
Some
to
of
call
y'all
you
have been
Oz,
following me long
'cause I
enough
see
where
you in
you
my chat a
remember
lot.
this. I had a little unicorn in my background on my bed. But I was like, I gotta do something because I don't know what to say. So I decided to tinkle my face. Y'all, anybody use a tinkle before?
I'm sorry, what the fuck is a tinkle, and also tinkle your face? That sounds like a golden shower, baby. I decided to pee on my own face. Oh no.
Yeah. So I'm really hairy. Just gonna say, I like got a man mustache if I don't tinkle that stuff. So I had never done it before, and I'm like tinkling my face, and I'm sweating because I'm all nervous, and then the hair starts kind of like flying around, and it's clumping on my face, and like the sweat's dripping
Hey, hold
down.
on a second. Look at Lisa's face. She doesn't know what tinkle means.
Oh,
Okay? I already know. I see her. I know what some of you guys are thinking. Tinkle. Wait a minute.
I was like, did she go to the bathroom?
Yeah,
It's like
looking
this
it up.
little razor thing you use on your face to get the hair off.
Oh.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Oh, it's like those little ones with the handle. I don't know if you can see these. Hold on. I didn't know these were called tinkles. What the hell? They're like these things. If you can see them. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about? I guess those are called tinkles.
I didn't know what it
Thank you. And to anyone else who did not know what tinkle is, you're welcome.
Oh man, I just
yeah. You can just say shave, Laura.
No, I was looking at Lisa.
So
I have like a little electronic, like, I guess it's meant for like delicate areas, so I use it on like my mustache area and like right in between my eyebrows. Yeah, so it's like an electric tinkle almost, except it's like a circle and you just like rub it. I don't know.
okay, I ended up shaving half my eyebrow off. just to
dermaplaning,
be
yeah, kinda.
100. But anyways, I got done with that video and I'm just laughing.
I think she didn't say shaving because like that it would imply like it sounds more manly if you say I was shaving my face. But I mean, come on, who doesn't shave their face these days? Like, well, I mean, I'm sure there are plenty of people who don't, but to me, like, I can't stand having like hair on my face. Like, hello, like I have trichotillomania, so like I'm always pulling my eyebrows out. But no, like I get hair here and right here also, so I'll just like shave those so I don't like end up pulling that shit out too. Dermaplaning, isn't that like a little bit more than like, isn't it more like exfoliating to your skin? Like it's similar, but isn't it different? I don't know.
So hard, like, y'all, I got so many messages.
Right, yeah, tinkle does sound a lot worse because it sounds like you're peeing on your face. but God forbid anyone suggest that she's manly.
I got so many messages. And then the same thing when it came to telling my story. We're just talking about it being scary. How many of y'all are scared to tell your real story? Like in this weekend, you were like, whew, I gotta get my film.
Hey, if you're scared or you like, if you feel uncomfortable talking about your trauma, then don't talk about it. Like, you don't have to. Now listen, like, I think if people do talk about their trauma, it can be like beneficial to other people who are going through the same thing. That's why I talk about all the shit that I've been through, because like a lot of people just don't like to feel alone. But I'm not doing it to recruit to an MLM, you know what I mean? And that's literally that's the point of this whole fucking thing, is that they're just like, tell your story, put your trauma on display for everyone to see so that you'll be more relatable and people will want to join you. It's fucking wild. Okay. Hey guys, so I'm thinking, well, I have to go play Pokemon Go. does anyone know, like, if you're playing Pokemon Go, like, can people, like, see your location? Like, if you send them a gift or something? Because, like, the gifts, like, are from a specific location, but can you, like, click and see where that came from? Because I was thinking about posting my friend code so that other people could play Pokemon Go with me. But, like, I don't want, no offense, guys, but I don't want you to know where my location is. I mean, I do go, like, everywhere to play Pokemon Go, but still. You guys know I live in Arizona, and that's enough. Yeah. Don't laugh at me, Janet. Pokemon Go is fun as fuck. I gotta tell you guys, dude. So, in my neighborhood, there's, like, nowhere to play Pokemon Go. There's one gym, that is, like, a 3-minute walk from my house, which would be great, but it's on private property. So, like, it's in, like, a business park. There's, like, a company that owns, like, a big business, and if you walk into their parking lot, you can reach the gym. So I did that twice. The first time, no one said anything to me. The second time, I walked up on a Sunday. They were closed. There was nobody there. And this random guy comes out. He's like, "Can I help you?" And I'm like, I'm playing Pokemon Go." And he was like, "There's signs and stuff that say you can't, like, come in here." And I'm like, I understand that, but, like, I'm literally just, like, standing in your parking lot playing a raid right now. And he's just like, "Well, we put up all these signs, and see there's cones over there that you can't, like, because we always get so many cars in here, like, it clogs up our parking lot and blah, blah, blah." I was like, okay, well, it's Sunday, you guys are closed, and I am just one singular person standing in an empty parking spot. And, like, I was, like, arguing with this guy, and, like, technically he's right, because, like, I guess it is their property. But, like, so then I wrote to Niantic, the Pokemon Go company, and I was like, "Hey, there's this gym in my neighborhood that, like, this guy almost threatened to call the police on me for doing the raid there, so, like, maybe you should get rid of it." And they're like, "If you're not the business owner, then you can't make a request to get rid of it." I'm like, they threatened to call the cops on me, dude. They said I was trespassing. So they're like, "Well, you just gotta be aware of your surroundings." I'm like, why are you putting a public gym for everyone to go spin and battle at and do raids and stuff? And they're like, they're gonna call the police. I'm like, excuse me? It didn't make any sense, dude. Anyway, so yeah, I basically have nowhere to play Pokemon Go. I have to, like, leave my house and go places to do it. And it's getting hot out. But, you know, when you're with friends, it's okay. So... Anyway, where's my... Okay, so I have this set to redirect to Clown Town. They should be live right now, so don't go anywhere. I'm just getting my, okay. Thanks for joining me. I hope you guys are having a wonderful Memorial Day. I hope that if you had a 3-day, 4-day weekend even, I hope that you were safe and had fun. I went camping this weekend. I was in the woods for 2.5 days. It was very nice, much needed. But yeah, I hope you guys have the most wonderful rest of your day. Thank you for being here, and thank you for being you. Also, Rebecca, my friend used to do that too, and he got banned. So don't use a VPN to play Pokemon Go. If they catch you, you get your account banned. Anyway, yeah. I'll talk to y'all later. We'll have another live stream sometime this week to finish up this part of the video. And then, yeah, we have a lot of other stuff to watch through also. So I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.